ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Occitanie, Betway, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and PaySafe Card.
These are those moments I don't think anybody else is going to forget.
It's round 2, day 2 here at ESL Pro League for the ANZ region. My name is Elfish Guy. This is Pili joining me for tonight. And Pili, incidentally as well, second last day of ESL Pro League for both you and I, for everyone in ANZ. And also, it may be the night that actually decides who's going to go through to Occitanie, as typically within this format, the second day has generally been.
100%. I mean, like, we saw Chiefs and Order play each other last night, and Chiefs just barely eked over a win there, which has put them actually in a position where if tonight they're able to upset Grayhound, then potentially there is a chance there that they could be the team to go through Pro League finals. But if Grayhound really puts Chiefs down and takes this victory, then there's very, very little chance that they're actually not going to be the ones to make it through.
I mean, I guess you can always make the argument that Grayhound probably do have a more difficult opponent tomorrow in that they have to face Order as well. Let's have a quick look at the schedule as well before we do get too far into the discussion here, and we'll see obviously that it is, like you said, Chiefs and Grayhound for tonight. Now, you would have been forgiven for thinking we were going to have 2 matches. Unfortunately, Atletico seems to have capitulated quite dramatically in the last couple of days, and they have forfeited their games for the entirety of the ESL Pro League season, and it seems as though they may not be a roster anymore in the future either, which is really disappointing actually, because we're talking about it before this season actually started and saying, look, that Atletico roster, while they're probably not the team that you expect to go through to Occitanie, they were definitely a team that could wreck the hopes of any one of Order, Chiefs or Grayhound, but it's not really an option anymore. They're going to get those forfeits going over to all of the top 3 teams.
When we saw them sort of propel themselves into the 4th best spot domestically, and then, you know, they almost even got an upset over Chiefs in that IEM Sydney qualifier, and Chiefs actually went on to have a pretty good run at IEM Sydney, so we're kind of thinking to ourselves, how good is this Atletico lineup? Well, we're never going to get to find out, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, but there definitely is some good players on that roster, hoping to see how they do go in the future. Pili, I want to take a look back at the past as well for now, as we do take a quick peek at some of the highlights from yesterday. Now, it was Order and Chiefs. You were casting that game, and I guess, again, what you said before that game started was at least how I would have summed it up as well. I think this was the game that, for both of these 2 teams, if they lost here, it's pretty much curtains for them. If they win, well, there's still that big question mark about the games for them, both against Grayhound. And, of course, we know that for the Chiefs, they have that big match coming up today.
They do, and you really could have pointed at these 2 really one-sided maps and said this series could have gone either way. We went down to the wire on Nuke, but I felt like Chiefs kind of earned this victory. They were a bit more resilient when the game was more one-sided in the other team's favor, and actually able to string some more rounds on that Chiefs side of Inferno to make it at least a bit more of a closer scoreline. And then we came back to it. Chiefs were front-running on this T side, but Order seemed like they were coming back until this point, where Ofnu 1v4s and breaks the economy of Order completely, forcing them on 2 pistol armor buys, which on the CT side of Nuke, particularly how Chiefs approached that map with the outside control, was pretty easy for them to overcome and take out the whole series. So yeah, I feel like Ofnu almost won that entire series for them and actually gave them this opportunity to, you know, make their way through to Occitanie if they're able to upset the best team in the region, which is a big if.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's definitely something we have to talk about when we do get more in depth into that Chiefs and Grayhound discussion. Ofnu is such a good player, actually, for them, recently speaking, but I don't want to touch on it too much just yet. Now, you look at these standings and be thinking, okay, hang on, doesn't Grayhound have a win over Atletico? Well, technically, we're just going to take them out of here. They're not even really part of the equation. It doesn't matter at this point whether every team got a forfeit win or they didn't exist. So they don't exist in this world. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Grayhound have yet to play a game, but you can look at Chiefs and say, okay, this is their last game of this entire tournament. So if they win here actually against Grayhound, they probably go through. They do go through, really, because there's no way that Grayhound or Order can catch them.
Yeah, because they have the
head-to-head over Order.
Yeah.
So big chance actually for Chiefs, and in the form that they're in at the moment, Peely, I got to say, I think they're actually in with a reasonable shout here. You say Greyhound is the best team in the region, and I won't disagree with you at all in that. But I think if there was going to be a situation where Greyhound was going to fall in recent times, this is actually looking like the best Chiefs roster that we have seen, and definitely with that performance over Order yesterday, I actually feel like there's a pretty good chance that Chiefs, if they have another outstanding performance, if we see Ofnu from that Fnatic game at IEM Sydney, that there may be a world in which the Chiefs actually do beat Greyhound today.
I think so. I think the big problem is that you're looking at what happened in that first stage of the ESL Pro League group where Chiefs did play Greyhound and they kind of fell flat a little bit, right? It wasn't very convincing at all. But since then, like you've said, there's been IEM Sydney where they had a really good performance against Fnatic and they actually made a decent run through the lower bracket of that tournament. You're talking about almost beating a team that came second at the entire event. That's pretty impressive stuff. But obviously, it's going to take some pretty big performances from their players.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, what every team is looking for is to make their way through the season finals. That's going to be in Occitanie, as I'm sure if you've been watching.
I love how they've even just taken Atletico out of the first stage of the graphic. Like, they didn't even come second.
Well, look, they don't deserve to be here anymore.
And look, even the breakaway and Paradox teams in that first group are not even the same lineups anymore. Can you guys just stick to even Advanced different? Can you guys just relax and stick together for 5 minutes?
For a season.
For one season.
No is the answer. But this is the way we get to Occitanie. Tyloo's already secured their place with that Asia group that we did get to see last week, which was pretty interesting up against MVP. Now, the beauty of this, now that we've actually got only the 3 teams actually going into the ANZ group, is that there is still technically a possibility for a 3-way tie, right? If Greyhound beats Chiefs today and Order beats Greyhound tomorrow, I should say, then it's going to go into a really weird sort of head-to-head situation, maybe the round differential. I'm not sure exactly how it sort of all gets worked out.
I don't know whether what would be looked at more favorably, whether it's going to be head-to-head or map diff, but potentially, you looked at that last series going 2-1 where Auto was still able to get a map win and a lot of rounds actually on Chiefs in a series that they lost. Maybe that'll be the difference maker where if one of these teams actually beats the other one really one-sidedly or in a 2-0 fashion rather than a close series that was 2-1, maybe that makes some kind of a difference as well.
Yeah, definitely. Something that we have to keep an eye on throughout a couple of days to come. But really, it does feel like kind of an anticlimactic end to the season almost now without Atletico. There was some really good storylines building up for them.
It's kind of looked like the group of death, right? Yeah. Because you were you got the big 3, obviously, and then you got Atletico in there who are looking like a team that can potentially make someone a little bit upset.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a wait before we do get into today's matches. Obviously, still waiting until the hour. So for now, we're going to head to a quick break. It's not a quick break, I should say, a quick video. It's a fun little one going on with Taco and First, so we'll check that out.
What's up, guys? It's Taco here, and I'm with my teammate Fur. And today we're going to play Voice Enable 0. Rush.
Which?
Whoosh.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I thought it was easy.
Okay. Rush B, no stop. Rush B, no stop.
Rush B, don't stop. Nice.
Okay,
second. This music's loud as fuck.
We should
choose.
We should.
We choose.
Should.
We should.
Should.
We should.
Should. Should. We should sign Neymar. We should sign Neymar.
Can you do some moves?
We should. We
leave? Dude, what the fuck is this?
We should sign. We should sign.
We sign.
Should sign. We should sign. We should sign.
Sign.
We should sign. Neymar. Nice.
We should sign Neymar.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know this was like a phrase.
Fur.
Fish.
Fur. Fair. Fur. Yeah, you.
Fur?
Don't.
Don't. Fair don't.
Flash.
Flash.
Me.
B.
Me.
Me. Fair, don't flash me. Fair, don't flash me. One more?
4, 5.
Okay.
5. Fifth.
Okay.
Fifth. Fifth.
Okay.
Subscribe to Betway. Subscribe.
Subscribe
To
to
Betway.
Badway.
Subscribe to Betway.
Subscribe to Badway, guys.
Easy, boys.
Easy for
really
us.
Easy.
We're done.
We're done. We're done.
Doesn't look too easy, Pilly. I'm sure it wouldn't be too enjoyable for you and I if we had Voice Enable 0 on. But look, let's just quickly, we've got to take a quick break after this, but let's just quickly break down this first game coming up, well, the only game for tonight. Chiefs Grayhound. I know you're probably leaning towards Grayhound. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Okay,
I
that's
100% are. It's mainly a matchup thing. I like you, I'm really impressed with Chiefs' form as of late, and particularly how they were in Sydney and stuff like that. But particularly when I saw them in Pro League Group, and a lot of the matchups against the Grayhound team just doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence for a team like Chiefs. I think Order has a better matchup against them, even though Chiefs were able to beat Order. It's that classic triangle of doom where everyone could kind of beat everyone. Things get a little bit weird, but Chiefs against Grayhound in particular, unless they're able to actually step over that margin that they haven't been able to before and make something new happen, then I don't know if it's a possibility. Maybe it is still a possibility, maybe not. Depends on who you believe, whether it's me or Pilly. For now, we are going to head to a quick break, like I mentioned, but it's Grayhound and Chiefs. And this may well be the match that decides who goes through to Occitanie. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon with our first and last game of tonight.
The champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all?
He reads it! Are you ready to be a part of Counter-Strike history?
ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
Think you can't clutch through a smoke while recording in full resolution and streaming the play to the world? Watch this.
Counter-terrorists win.
Think you can't get famous in a flash? Like become your own meme famous? Watch this. Think he's been there, done that? With Intel Core i7, he's just getting started. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Bon spectacle.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
This is Game Fuel. It's domination in a can. Tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk on, baby. Pinch me and you make believe we're dreaming. Sinful hands are folded at your knees. Baby, don't you go and stand so close to me. You stand so close to me. 'Cause honey, I can't help but give the most to me. Give the most to me. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. 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 Walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, 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 walk on, baby. Walk on, baby.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Occitanie, Betway, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and PaySafe Card.
G'day guys, welcome back. It's ESL Pro League and it's our second day of ANZ Pro League, also our second last. Now we've got a good game coming up for us today, as we sort of expected every single game of this ANZ Pro League was going to be. Yesterday I think we got a bit of a banger.
Yep.
Chiefs and Order going the distance, very, very close there, going the way of Chiefs. Now they're going up against Grayhound, and if Chiefs actually win today, they'll be the team going through to Occitanie. But for Grayhound, they need to win today, they need to win tomorrow, and then they'll beat the team. For Order, things are looking a little bit grim. They can really only hope that Grayhound will win today, and then they beat Grayhound tomorrow, and then it all sort of goes into that three-way tie, which is going to be a little bit weird. But Pilly, I got your thoughts quickly before we did go to the break about how you expected this matchup to go, and you definitely were leaning towards Grayhound. Is it going to be fairly clean for Grayhound tonight, or is this definitely one that they're going to have to work for?
That's what it sort of leads me to believe, just based off how this matchup went last time. But maybe it is like a fact of Chiefs have actually learned a few hard lessons in some of these qualifiers where they've had a bit of a struggle. And let's be real, they're a pretty new lineup compared to that Grayhound one. I think, you know, they've really sort of put the pieces together in the last couple of months, only really forming just before Pro League started, and maybe a month or two before Pro League started, and a couple of months before AEM Sydney and all these tournaments started cropping up. So they've really had a lot of time to sort of develop and become the team that we know, and maybe they still haven't even reached their full potential overall. And whereas a team like Grayhound, they've been together even since, you know, Katowice, where they actually had a main qualifier sort of run.
Well, I think that is where my main hang-up is going to be here for the Chiefs today. When we look at the map veto, I find it quite difficult that they're going to be able to actually win the veto against a team like Grayhound, when we know that they play 6 out of 7 maps in the pool. Although I guess you could argue now that Vertigo's come in, that may not necessarily be a true stat. But let's find out what the bans are going to be first, Pilly, before you do get too far into that discussion. Inferno taken away. Okay, so Train taken away by Grayhound. That's basically standard fare.
Yeah.
Inferno, decent map for Grayhound. Chiefs don't want it.
Chiefs are alright on Inferno, but a bit of a struggle yesterday against Order. Order had like a 11-0 lead on the T side up against Chiefs yesterday, so maybe Chiefs feeling a little bit weaker on that one. The interesting fact is Vertigo hasn't been taken out, which is a map that I'm pretty sure Grayhound don't like. At least Max said that Grayhound don't like it yesterday, so
who knows what
I don't know if Chiefs are going to want to pick it.
I'm not so sure. I would be surprised if we do actually get to see it picked out here, particularly given that Dust 2 is available. I think that one is going to be, but both teams will be happy to play, and Chiefs are going to grab it. Grayhound we know like Dust 2, Overpass out for Grayhound, no real surprise there.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that Chiefs are actually not too bad on Overpass. Actually, they had a really good game against Order on it yesterday when a lot of things were going wrong for them, and they were still able to win a pretty one-sided one. So it's a map they definitely can play. Dust 2 as well, though, is a map that we know Grayhound are pretty decent at as well. Even though it's a little bit further down in their pool than some of the others, it is definitely a map that they can play to a decent standard. So we've got two maps that could be pretty wildly competitive in the first two already. I can only assume that the second ban on towards the Vertigo, and we're going to end up on a Nuke again as the third map decider. Not surprised at all. Grayhound's not going to leave Mirage in there.
No, definitely not. I'd say Mirage at the moment, actually, if we ignore Vertigo, probably is the worst map in the pool, actually, for Grayhound. So between the two options, between Vertigo and Nuke, you definitely want to be going on to that one. But again, that's not a map that Chiefs are going to be particularly scared of. So I think we've actually got a really nice map pool coming out here.
I think these are three maps that Chiefs can really play pretty decently. In fact, they're probably some of their better maps in their pool. So if ever there was an opportunity compared to some of the other ones that Chiefs have been given, this is probably it, right?
But would you not say that the exact same thing for Grayhound? Like,
yeah, but Greyhound's won all the time, so I'm kind of trying to make an argument that Chiefs might actually win this time. So just don't bring that up, okay, Jordan? Let's just talk about Chiefs whether they can do it this time. Right?
Rewind that.
Let's just forget about that other part, all right?
Definitely.
That doesn't exist.
All right, let's cut that off and pretend exactly what I said was, look, man, Chiefs have been playing really well lately. And to be fair, they have. I think they were in really nice form at IEM Sydney. They almost beat Fnatic in their match there. Didn't quite have enough in the end. If we see Offnu and maybe even Zeusy as well, like what we saw there, again, on this map, on Dust 2, if they're able to do something similar, definitely is going to put a bit of a rock up against Grayhound. Though the odds will definitely favour Grayhound, and I think that is fair. This is definitely their match to lose. But I don't think it is as one-sided as you might have thought it was in the past. So we're going to get to find out as we do start off on Dust 2 Chiefs pick. It'll be Grayhound who are getting underway on the CT side.
Last time we saw Grayhound play this map, at least last time I did, they had a bit of a struggles on the T side. She's going to be starting off, though.
It's a nice grenade from Malta, but didn't actually do as much damage as they thought it would have. And as a result, it kind of lets Chiefs into the B bomb site relatively unscathed. There will be a bit of a contest in upper tunnels, and upper dark, that is going to be Offnu to go down early. Tux and Blitz with the recontest, and Dexter in a 2v1 here. He's got no hope at all. Malta takes the opportunity to sneak through the smoke, but Zeusy is waiting. Dick Stacey will fall as well. Great stuff, particularly from Tux and Blitz to retake Upper Dark. All of a sudden, Grayhound fall apart.
There was a word I would use to describe Chiefs yesterday up against Order. It would probably be resilient. Even when things got rough, they were still able to turn it around. And I'm not just talking about coming back from a deficit in terms of the rounds on the board. I'm talking about coming back from 4v5 situations where things get a little bit testy. That was a good opportunity, a good example of that, rather, when they're in that 4-on-5 and they just make the definitive mid-round call and Tux and Blitz just charge in towards tunnel and retake the control and win that 2-on-3 fairly flawlessly.
Yep.
It's good stuff to see. That's nice and decisive. No second-guessing yourself. No hesitation.
It's going to be the buy-through, though, from Grayhound. Scout out for Sicko. We know that he can be quite dangerous with that weapon. Dexter close with the CZ, and Dick Stacey's position here, they might have thought he would have been pushed away by the Molotov. In fact, it'll be Urcast that gets Dexter, which gives away the element of surprise for Dick Stacey because he fired as well. Urcast can't quite calibrate the aim onto the head there with the 5-7, so for a moment it looked like a chance there for Grayhound, but that seems to have very swiftly been swept away by the Chiefs.
It does, so both of these two rounds, good recoveries after losing a player for Chiefs. Sicko's left alone with the Scout, which was purchased by somebody else and given to him. So he still have money for the AWP if they want to buy in the third, and plenty of utility. But Dexter and Dick Stacey are going to be the two men that are a little bit poorer than everybody else in the next round. So I'd assume it's going to be another save. As is pretty common on Dust 2, you need your utility. You want to get enough money for the AWP on the CT side, maybe even a double AWP setup. Pretty important on this map.
Who's going to be taking that secondary AWP, though, for Grayhound? Like, I mean, traditionally it has been Malta, but...
His chance.
Nah, I'm not going to do it. It's an ESL Pro League.
if it was ANZ champs. But look, I mean, to be fair, yeah, okay, Malta has been the secondary AWP for Grayhound, but I don't think it's like naturally...
Dexter picks it up sometimes.
Dexter does as well, yeah. But I don't think it's like, okay, yeah, we definitely want to have a double AWP. Like, I think for Grayhound, 9 times out of 10 almost, they just tend to go for the rifles, the 4 rifles, and
maybe
the single AWP.
do you reckon that players are just... everything that they could do with that secondary AWP, they could do with an AWP or something like that anyway?
Yeah.
Or that and more?
Yeah, probably. That, I think, is more so the case. Yeah. So they're going to give it another crack with the scout, and he does get some pretty good tag onto Blitz. It's not going to be too concerning for the Chiefs, though. Obviously, just the USP's out for Grayhound here. Deagle for Malta, but not too scary.
So Chiefs just waiting for that upper dark push. Ofnu throws the flash over to push these players out of lower tunnel to go for a pick on towards short. Now Chiefs, Molotov closed doors, eliminating some potential risks and possibilities that Grayhound could have to get some picks. Nice flashbang sets up Zeusy and Texter. Take some picks into middle.
Well, Dick Stacey's managed to grab the scout, and he'll get a nice shot onto Zeusy, who was incidentally also one of the players with a decent amount of HP. There's another one for him as he tags Blitz through the doors. It's a headshot as well, so he's going to knock him down. Blitz was low. We're back into a 3v3 with Texter on 5 HP. Ofnu is scouting out the A bomb side and getting the information there, so Dexter will make his way in that direction. But Grayhound certainly have a chance to strike here, particularly if Dexter gets the right timing onto Tux. It's a nice tag on through, a couple of tags in fact. So this is actually looking a little more precarious for Chiefs than they might have liked. It's a winnable round for Grayhound at this point.
Definitely could be the case. Stacey going to make his way up cap. Malta's going to join him in a sec. Actually gets in front of the smoke before it lands. Not quite though.
Yeah, just the off timing there for Dick Stacey. Had he been there another couple of seconds early.
And with both of these players coming through long with no kits, it kind of leans you towards the situation that this round is pretty unwinnable, particularly with the Molotov on off to. Never mind, he's going on an adventure into CT spawn. Where's he off to?
Needs clean shots here for Dexter, which unfortunately he can't quite get. He will manage to find the kill onto Tux and eventually gets Ofnu. It's too little too late to win the round, but that's certainly a lot of damage. Ofnu will clean up the frag. Dexter, a lapse in judgment, runs straight into the fire on 5 HP. I mean, he probably would have died to the bomb anyway, but I think that's actually a pretty respectable round for Grayhound. You can't be disappointed by that. They literally saved the scout through, didn't buy anything apart from the Deagle for Malta, or maybe that was even saved through for Sicko. And they've taken all the guns away from Chiefs bar 1. Now, what you have mentioned is the double AWP, and that straight away is coming out for Grayhound. It's Dexter to take the secondary, though, not Malta.
And he's been pretty good on the CT side of wielding that AWP towards the B side or towards middle and just picking people in lowers or towards catwalk. When we watched Grayhound play at the CT side of this map, I think it was against not any of Order or Chiefs. It was against another team, maybe Atletico, that were front running them. And then they had a massive comeback on the CT side. I don't know if it was you that was casting that game with me, but
Can't recall, so I don't think it was me.
But they, I feel like their CT side was a little better than their T side in that game in particular, but might have been a bit of an anomaly. Regardless, Chiefs smoke on towards mid to B, and Ofnu's going to make his way out the doors to try to cut the map in half, while the rest of Chiefs just contact walk out this B tunnels. But Ofnu, he is posted on the line.
So is Malta. He's going to spot Ofnu out through middle. Dexter does actually miss a shot, but Malta is there to salvage the scraps, and Dexter, 2 with the grenade. Blitz has got the AWP here, so he might be able to get 1, but in fact Dexter has a nicer angle. 3 kills for Dexter in the round, only 1 of them coming from the AWP. Malta certainly did his damage there, but only rewarded with the 1 frag. That said, it is the first round for Grayhound, so they cannot be too disappointed having 5 guns alive.
Interesting to see Chiefs go for that kind of a play in the first gun round. It's something we saw yesterday against Order quite a lot, that they actually opt to, when they know their opponents have a good economy and have a lot of utility, they go for those more contact plays or quicker rush plays towards the bomb sites when they're well aware that their opponents have all the Molotovs and counter flashes and nades to really slow them down or stop them if they don't hit the right timing. And it's something that's actually caught them out in that round and in a couple of rounds in that Order game, the first gun rounds where they tried to run those quickest runs, rather than run a more drawn out sort of map control approach.
There's a big grenade onto Ofnu, and he's going to run straight into the Molotov. Sicko will net that frag, and Tux. What do you do here? Just chilling at the Xbox, he wants to play some. Looks like the TV's broken.
Fortunate.
Why do they call this Xbox?
Maybe it used to be green or something? I don't actually know. Never really thought about it.
Because a lot of call-outs actually make sense.
My favorite one is on Cash, Idiot Wall.
I don't know what you're referring to.
It's like the next to truck when you're on the left wall and you can just get killed really easily from anyone who's got to forklift as a T.
Yep.
That's the Idiot Wall.
That makes sense. See, like again, just another one that makes sense.
Alright, a bit lower of a buy in terms of the utility for Chiefs this time around, but they've got enough to make it work. And again, a very heavy setup here towards lower, towards B tunnels. This time though, Chiefs. Again, Molotov into the door, Molotov up onto Cat. They're going to flash their way across middle and try to either make their way up Cat or cut the map in half by taking this mid control. Blitz the whole while. It's just been posted on the doors, not wanting anyone to peek into that area. The whole round, he's just been sitting there waiting for the catwalk aggression, waiting for the doors aggression.
Definitely seems as though Grayhound kind of knows what's up though. We saw the H&H straight through the mid doors initially, and now onto short as well.
This time, smoke mid to B comes out from Chiefs, but look, Greyhound's going for this boost. They were already going for this before the smoke came out, and now Chiefs going to make their way very quickly up catwalk. Sicko hits the first shot, so again, man of disadvantage already for Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't think you can really be challenging Sicko at this point without a smoke, without any flashbangs. It's wishful thinking to get into the bomb site uncontested at that point, and Sicko will net himself a couple before Dick Stacey also chimes in with one. Now, a bomb plant is going to at least be allowed here by Chiefs, but it would be an absolutely horrific round for Grayhound if they were to lose from this point, and Tux would have to be the catalyst of it. It's only 2 kills out for Chiefs in this one, so again, a pretty decent one for Grayhound. A nice 3 guns alive, 2 of them being the AWPs, and so far so good for Grayhound on this CT side.
Yeah, this is getting scary for the Chiefs. It really feels like Greyhound's just shutting them down every which way that they go, and they're doing so cleanly, which is keeping their economy very, very high. I mean, purchasing a double AWP setup is usually pretty detrimental to your money, but if you're just keeping all the guns alive and barely losing anything while swatting away these buys from the Chiefs and the anti-ecos, then you're going to be cruising, and that's exactly what Greyhound's doing. They're in a very firm position to be able to buy multiple times for the next couple of rounds on the CT side. And Chiefs, they're going to start to build up this loss bonus after this pistol round that they are going into.
Well, here's Sicko's opportunity again to find a few stat pads, and doesn't miss. Definitely has been like, I won't say like questions necessarily about Sicko since he's come into this Greyhound roster, but I think it's fair to say that when he joined the Order roster, that was where he like really had that breakout performance.
I don't think he's hit the same level that he was when he was in Order.
I think that's what I'm trying to get at, right? So we know that there's sort of this other level that Sicko can kind of hit, but he's definitely been having a couple of nice shots so far tonight, 7 and 2. Maybe there's something left in the tank for Sicko today.
This smoke doesn't actually catch Greyhound out as Chiefs are going for the long control. Different approach this time. Greyhound, they don't want to fight that. Even though they had 3 players over that side, they're going to give it up. Counter flushes keep the T's back for just long enough. And Sicko posting on the angle, trying to catch any T's getting over aggressive while the rest of the Greyhound roster repositions on the A side of the map to take short control. Because obviously, if you've lost long and you give the T's short, you pretty much just lose because you get pincered on that A side. Now Chiefs, looks like after taking long, going to head back towards T-spawn and change up their approach. Molotov from off new towards lower just to keep this short aggression back and make sure that your boys over on Chiefs don't have too much info. But speaking of info, here it is.
Exactly.
This could be a freebie for him.
Might well be.
What a
just
shoulder.
Gets baited by the shoulder peek from Texter, but slows Chiefs down, and now the smoke comes across from Greyhound. It hasn't had to be used earlier on in the round. So that'll buy the CTs even more time. Chiefs are going to be down to about 30 seconds before they can really execute into one of these bomb sites, which is always a bit of an interesting situation.
Excellently played from Chiefs, I have to say. Now they're going to go contest this long control. They throw the smoke out mid to B after showing in tunnels, which is playing with the rotation. Zerkas is going into CT spawn, and now Chiefs are making their way up catwalk and splitting this A bomb site. This is an excellent position.
Incendiary down at a nice time from Greyhound, but a nice shot from Blitz is going to make things look a little bit better for the Chiefs. With that said, Sicko will peg one back. Malta as well does get off new on the lurk. And Urcast, as you mentioned, from CT spawn has done a number onto Tux. Again, we're probably going to see the bomb go down here, and Zusi finding an important kill onto Urcast does give it back to the 2v2, puts the control in Chiefs' favour. A nice flashbang, but Malta can't take advantage of it. Now it's onto Dexter, 2v1 with the AWP, and he'll just get banged out of the server by Texter. Great shot from him.
That was literally amazing from Chiefs. I feel like the way that they played with the rotations in that round, all the shoulder in towards upper, they took long, they went back towards T spawn, towards B, didn't lose a player, made sure they kept the rotations honest, they went back towards catwalk, pushed the player back multiple times, then throw out that mid to B smoke, which they have been telegraphing that, hey, we want to go back towards B after taking this long control, and then they just go and split the A bomb site after taking catwalk. It was literally perfect from Chiefs. They couldn't have done it better, and the strategy was so strong that even in the late round, when things didn't go super smoothly from them, they lost picks to Sicko, they lost picks to Urcast, it still worked out for them because they just made fundamentally the right decisions.
Well, it's going to give you a little bit of hope, I suppose, Billy, because it felt as though you were starting to lose that after Grayhound went up 4-3, won a few of those gun rounds pretty cleanly. It was kind of looking like...
Don't put words in my mouth, Jordan.
Look, don't disagree with the words I'm putting on your mouth, because that's exactly what did happen. And don't act like it wasn't. But, you know, for Chiefs, I think that is a nice little comeback, even though, you know, we don't necessarily say that they needed a comeback at that point, but it was starting to look a little bit dire.
Alright, so Chiefs, they've got the catwalk control, they made sure no one's pushing the extremities towards upper tunnel and towards long A, and now they're just putting this progression smoke, which would usually telegraph and execute and potentially force out some utility from the CT side. Unfortunately, no real utility there for Grayhound to throw apart from these counter flashes. Now Chiefs, bit of pressure on towards long, and they will go for this cat execute.
Yeah, and they've learned from their mistakes last time as well. They're not going to give Sicko as many free, easy shots. This time the smoke will go down. Texter to take control of CT spawn, but Urcast is watching, lurking, and he's going to swing around and get the second as well, spotting the bomb out, which does mean now Dexter knows what is coming. But I'm not sure how much that is going to help him. Dick Stacey is going to have to be the one that helps him, and will, which means that Dexter can just spot the line into upper tunnels and finish it off. Another nice round for Grayhound. Again, 3 guns through, so immediately they respond.
The Chiefs throw those 2 smokes, they telegraph that it's going to be an A execute, and they try to throw a bit of a spanner in the works, sending Texter to drop down in towards CT spawn, and then split mid to B without throwing that mid to B smoke, because they have the smoke for the cross basically on the A side of the map. The problem was that as soon as Texter goes down to Urcast there's no one to really stop Grayhound from running through that smoke and just fighting them. And
speaking of running around and fighting, that's exactly what Chiefs are trying to do right now, although seems to be a bit of infighting there as Susie's going to cop a bullet in the back of the head. Sicko again trying to stat pad, and does get one. All in all, another happy round for Grayhound.
And their economy is still doing absolutely fantastic. Chiefs, they've had a couple of questionable rounds, one really good gun round, I would say, one really good pistol round. Overall, it kind of feels like Grayhound's getting the better of them at the moment, but there's still more opportunities here for Chiefs. The thing is, on Dust 2 at the moment, I feel like this is actually a bit of a T-sided map, to be honest. So I really feel like Chiefs, they need to make the most of this. Very quick play, going for a mid to B here, and Malta is in position again. They're getting shut down before they can even make their way into the site.
Zusi falls to the AWP of Dexter. But now Dexter is on his own on that bomb site. He's just posted up like a turret, gets off to in the mid to B split. And now he can just sit himself on this bomb site, try and challenge the remaining Ts that are working their way in, which won't really work out too well for him. Tux swinging a little too wide for his scope to find him. But here comes the retake from Grayhound, 3v2. They have the player advantage. They've got a lot of utility there on Urcast. That said, he is in the tunnels itself, and Tux is just going to smash him. Headshot coming across from long range, and now into the 2v2. Dick Stacey will try to make some room here for Sicko, but it does seem as though Grayhound have really slowed down significantly. Dick Stacey falling there as well. This looks like it may well be a fairly safe 2v3 that Chiefs will win. Smoke has given room for Sicko. He spots out Blitz, but in the end, can't calibrate the aim.
That smoke definitely could have given him room, because that's usually a smoke that the T's use to get out of tunnels. Yeah. Can give you some nice angles.
Well, I think
over
really
the
where
edges
that
of it.
where that round fell apart was Tux just getting such a nice shot onto Urcast, and I think Malta probably would have felt like he could have done a little more here in middle as well.
The round, he said, probably should have gone the way of Grayhound, but didn't quite get it done. Again, Chiefs just going for a very quick one. Oh, in towards tunnel. It is probably going to be a bit of a slowdown. Maybe it's a quick one out middle once again. That's exactly what they're doing. Just pressure again and again on the mid to B area. Smoke on the cross, but they're getting sprayed down in middle again.
Yeah, Sicko was also posted on the line with the AWP, and Dexter this time doesn't have the AWP himself, and M4A1S, but it doesn't matter when you have your back turned. He was in two minds. Do I go back to window? Do I look at the B bomb side, or do I look at mid? And in the end, he really should have committed to one or the other. The fact that he did neither meant that he was caught in no man's land.
While all that pressure went on towards middle and the emphasis was being put there by Chiefs, and that would often cause the rotations out from Grayhound, and actually that player who was towards long, instead of choosing to rotate back through CT spawn, went for a push into long hut because he felt like with the utility being expended out of uppers and the 3 players running out mid, that just screams mid to B. You don't expect that person waiting on the other side of the map, and Zeus is just chilling in long hut and just blows his head off, and that's another extra frag going the way of Chiefs. I have to say, though, that felt like Grayhound was ahead in some parts of that round until Zusi gets that kill on the flank and Texter runs out mid and kills Dexter towards window. That was where the momentum really felt like it swang a little bit more in the favour of Chiefs there. And now they're going to even it up, and the money's starting to run a little bit on the lower side for Grayhound.
I think the word you're looking for is swung, not swang.
Swang, swung, swing, swung, you know, any of them.
Swung. Okay, but first time in the map now that Grayhound is actually going to have to take the eco. Obviously, they lost the pistol. Okay, fair. But it's been looking really good for them up until this point now. 2 rounds in a row for Chiefs. Money's starting to look a little bit awkward for Grayhound. They're sitting at about 3,600 for most of the players. So maybe a drop could actually come across from the 2 guys that saved their guns.
And it feels good from Chiefs. Like, it's like the strategy overall of them just fighting towards CT spawn and window.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it should make sense, but when they sort of break it down into the later rounds, they are able to close out a lot of them. And even if the strategy isn't that amazing in itself, at least it shows their ability to take initiative and actually want to go and take the fight to Grayhound in this series rather than being hesitant and taking their time. And you're seeing some more like confidence coming out from the lads, and then they have those good players to be able to close out in the late round as well.
Yeah, it's going to be the drop across from Grayhound, so I spoke too soon. They don't have to eco just yet. Although if they lose this round, then that will be the option. Sicko started it off nicely, so there may well be still some fight left in Grayhound before we see an eco come from them. Malta posted on the line here in toward B behind Kai. He'll get a great headshot onto Zusi. Challenges the next couple, but Dexter is the one that's going to essentially play Malta as bait. And cleans up a couple for himself. Grayhound are going to win the round. No questions about that. Unless Texter does something similar to Ofnu yesterday, and now after having been tagged quite heavily from the AWP of Sicko, it feels even less likely that the 1v4 will come into effect, considering especially the bomb is on the B bomb side. Sicko will finish it off, 7-6. Grayhound keep their noses in front and also secure themselves at least one more buy-through.
They're going to buy up here. Blitz has been dropped himself the AWP. It's not going to be the most fantastic buy. Zusi and Ofnu not going to be able to grab the best weaponry, and a bit light on the utility here and there.
Oh,
there you go.
This is vintage, man. Look at him, 13
He's
and
making
5.
a statement.
Called him out. He's been listening.
4-on-5 situation for Chiefs. You have to say yesterday they were pretty good at actually recovering some of those against Order, but Greyhound's a little bit different of a beast.
Yeah, that is for sure.
See what the approach is going to be here from Chiefs.
Well, Zusi does only have a pistol here, so he's definitely not one you're going to be looking to, nor is Ofnu really with the Galil to be the one that's going to open one of these bomb sites up. Although Zusi may well be the first man in to play bait. If he jumps down into CT spawn and can win the aim battle against Urcast, maybe the second man across can get the trade out onto Sicko.
I don't think Greyhound are going to fight it that much, particularly with the man advantage. A lot of the time you're just going to chill. You just take a couple shots, you play full retake as the CTs.
Oh, hole in the smoke. Sicko will be able to peek on through it. Let's see if he can hit the prediction shot. Not quite. The flashbang might have thrown him off there. Urcast is actually going to contest this one. Players do jump down right in front of him. Urcast will get 2 before being traded by Tux, and I'm not sure that's exactly what the Chiefs needed. They needed a little bit of a better trade than that. Bomb does go down, however, the artillery strike bombardment of grenade coming through from the CT side. Ofnu getting one onto Sicko. A good trade out from Dick Stacey with the AUG, and he'll double down. Tux is gone as well, and so too is the round for Chiefs. 8-6 now for Greyhound, and a chance to turn it to a 9-6, which, all things considered, would be a really good half.
A lot more back and forth of a game than we saw yesterday in the first 2 maps at least. Good to see. Bomb Plant's going to give Ofnu and Texter enough for AKs and armor. Everyone else is just going to have to make do. It's not going to be a fantastic fight out from the Chiefs, but if they can make some of this aggression that they've been employing to win some of these rounds work for them in this round, then maybe there could be potential there.
A lot of early utility out from Grayhound into bedroom, into upper tunnels. Molitor's left alone on the B-bomb site, which means a lot of presence into mid and even further for Grayhound. Look at Sicko, he's pushed up onto short. He's been hitting his shot, so why not at this point, although it is a little risky without anyone to trade for him. Great timing on the utility so far tonight for Grayhound.
As always. I mean, can't argue with this emphasis towards mid. Chiefs have put so much presence and pressure over that side of the map and towards B. Bam being exchanged back and forth indoors, and no one's really doing anything just yet. Now Chiefs going to make their way towards Catwalk. Trying to shoulder out Sicko. Ooh, he actually hit the shot, but only goes through the box, and Blitz, he doesn't miss. He's hit the headshot.
Well, now Urkas is probably feeling a little bit nervous over on the A-bomb site right now because he is the last line of defense here. And oh, wide swing. You could have almost seen Blitz making the trade happen there, but not going to happen. And we're into a 2v4, Zusi and Texter. There was moments where Chiefs could have found the advantage in this round, but now it's going to have to be a real wrestle for control, and that is what we're seeing. Malta and Urkas do go down. It's 2v2. Dick Stacey here, though, from behind. Bit of surprise in the back. Not what you want. Most of the time, at least. Zusi, though, does get the bomb down into a 1v2.
There is a Molotov to stop him peeking up short, but no smoke to go on the bomb, so this Molotov that Zusi has could definitely work pretty well. It actually used the Molotov towards Gandalf, so that's not going to be an option. There is an opportunity for Zusi to drop this Molotov, even take multiple 1v1s against these two Grayhound players.
Well, they're going to have to hit their shots now, and they do. The incendiary will burn Dick Stacey. It's not going to matter, though. Dexter's got a kit. And straight into the fire. Through the fire and flames. He'll win the round for Grayhound. What a beautiful, poetic end to the first half. 9-6 for Grayhound, though. You have to be feeling pretty happy with that. I think heading into the second half, the Chiefs do have a bit of work to do. But we certainly know it is within the realms of possibility. We're going to find out, though, after this.
Dancing on my own when you spill that ramen coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette, that is first sight. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, the next thing I lose. We were so ready to give in, skin to skin on our baseline.
Alrighty, well, welcome back. Billy caught a little bit off guard, but we're just about ready to get into the second half. Obviously, for Chiefs and Grayhound, it's 9-6 for Grayhound. The Chiefs, I don't know, do you reckon they struggled there in that first half, or is it more a case of Grayhound just playing pretty damn well on Dust 2?
I feel like there's only really like 1 or 2 rounds that Chiefs sort of played a little bit of a slower round with full utility and took their time. It really felt like that entire T half. They're really trying to force the issue out middle and towards B tunnels, right? So not really sure how I feel about them only getting 6 rounds on the T side when, you know, they won the pistol. They got 1 or 2 rounds in terms of the gun rounds working for them. And the rest of the time, it felt like Grayhound kind of really heavily shut them down and had a good economy the entire time, right?
Yeah, definitely. I would not disagree with you at all, Pilly. I'm being told that there is a bit of a tech issue going on right now, so we may have a little bit of a wait. I'm not sure whether that is going to be a long one or a short one. We'll have to see. But
a bit of Optus, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe a bit of Optus. If anyone that isn't aware what's been going on in Australia right now, which is where we are, is one of our internet service providers is having some outages, like not globally. Nationally would be the term.
Somebody
like
ran over one of the cables in the outback.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but they're really struggling.
Really.
So I don't know if that's actually what the issue is, but it certainly could be. It's been affecting a couple of the other games that are going on around the place as well, the other esports titles that are happening at the moment.
What other esports? There is only
PUBG.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I'm hearing PUBG is having an issue as well. Anyway, that's beside the point. We want to talk about Grayhound and Chiefs. I don't know, like for Chiefs, actually, when we watched them at IEM Sydney, I know I keep kind of going back to that, but like that was where I sort of thought, okay, Chiefs is back. You know, like this roster is looking really solid. I think it was actually the CT side of Dust 2 that was where they really were posing a big issue actually for Fnatic. So maybe there is some heart to take going into this second half for the Chiefs. Again, I don't know if we're going to be seeing a performance like that from them. The other thing I want to actually touch on, though, as well, while I guess we have time, is for the Chiefs, you know, let's talk about the rankings as we always like to when we have pauses. You know, we're going to keep Grayhound at number 1, probably even if they lose this match. But I think now Chiefs have sort of, again, established themselves in that second position, just a little bit above Order. There was words and questions about whether Order was second, even despite the fact that they didn't qualify for IEM Sydney because maybe Chiefs got an easier run through, etc., etc. And Order beat Chiefs in multiple kinds of qualifiers, but never actually managed to make their whole way through. I think, again, we're just seeing Chiefs sort of just stay a little bit ahead of Order. Is that fair, or do you disagree?
I think so. I don't think it's necessarily because they are definitively a much better team than Order. That last game yesterday, that was 2 one-sided maps. Chiefs barely edged it out, and in a map that could have gone to Order. I feel like Chiefs, you have to put them in a number 2 position because Order just keep missing these opportunities, right? They didn't qualify for Sydney.
They're like the MVP PK of ANZ CS.
Unfortunately.
They're always up
if
there.
they're not at those Premier tournaments and then another team goes to the Premier tournaments, unfortunately, if you're playing Australian domestic Counter-Strike and online CS and Chiefs is playing Fnatic and playing fairly well, I have to kind of say Chiefs is probably pretty good.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Don't disagree with you at all. All right, 9-6 Grayhound. If they win the pistol here, then that is really going to be a big spot of bother for the Chiefs. The flashbang does mean Grayhound actually get out of bedroom fairly okay, but they still have to challenge for long. And Zeusy will say no thank you very much to the door-to-door salesmen that have appeared right in front of him. The 4 kills go the way of Zeusy. Very nice. And Urcast on his own, 3v1. Has got, what has he got? He's got a P250 now. He's really cycling through, having a good look.
I don't think you want that P250, to be honest. The long-range accuracy on this is absolutely garbage.
No way. One-shot headshot.
The armor pen's good, but the only thing it's really better at is just hitting multiple shots to the body against armored opponents. But in terms of the long-range like duels, you may as well have a USP or something.
It's going to be interesting what the timing is like here with Techstar. There is a world in which Urcast actually does find a 1v1 up on this A-bomb site. If he wins that, it's going to be Tux. There we go. That's why you pick the P250 up. Now it drops down into CT spawn. He'll make his way over to B. This is a good read. Although he may have just faked it and he'll go straight into Blitz. If Blitz hits this shot, that's going to be all over. But if Urcast wins this duel again, it's going to be a 1v1 that they've given over to him. And he still has plenty of time to play with.
Yeah, Kami is taking a couple of shots. He just walks.
Well, now he has to pick up the pace a little bit. 5 bullets left. Going to reload, not bad idea. 13 shots here for him available. Texter, can he hold the bomb side here, or does Urcast get the bomb plant and then put it into a 1v1? Texter's trying to do his best. A good shot across onto Urcast is going to put him very low indeed, but we all know that it is just a one-shot headshot that Urcast needs here, and he's going to make his way up onto Texter. A couple of shots do get missed. Eventually it'll be finished off. It was a tall order for Urcast, but he made it interesting at the very least.
Go Chiefs getting the pistol. CT side of Dust 2. That CT pistol is pretty important to get your money going off on the right start. Make sure you get your utility that you need, and potentially money for the orb in the future. As for Grayhound, they're going to take the single save. Hopefully they're not feeding too many kills to Offnu and Tux. Offnu's over here, looking to make some cash with that MP buff. And that's not how you do it.
Nope, definitely not going to have too much luck there. Zusi, at the very least, will be able to stabilize for Chiefs. Those guns are actually retrievable, although Grayhound do not know it. P250 long range. Let's actually tag Texter up a little bit. It's not looking too precarious for the Chiefs at the moment, though. Grayhound haven't been able to pick up either of those guns. Admittedly, it was like a couple of crappy guns anyway. And with no armor for Grayhound, it doesn't seem likely that they'll be able to do a whole lot whether or not they had the guns or not. But again, like, damage is what you spoke about before this round started.
Like a death by 1,000 paper cuts for Texter right now.
Yeah.
Like 4 damage a shot. Slowly being chipped down. Urcast is closing the distance. Oh my god. Please, someone kill each other. There you go. It literally was.
And it's money. He's got money on his gun as well, which sort of, again, leans towards the whole paper cut thing. I don't know. Am I getting a little bit too excited?
Not a bad analogy.
Thank you. It looked like US dollars as well, which actually are paper, basically.
Are ours not paper?
Huh?
Are ours not paper?
No, ours are like plasticky goodness.
Ah, the old plasticky goodness.
Imagine Sicko
I
wins
do
that.
have to say, paper money is pretty stupid though, right?
Yeah.
Like you can
Drop it in a
actually
puddle.
just rip
Hey,
the
there's going to be a
bills.
bomb plant here.
Yeah, that's true. That'll help the tea economy. Is that going to get Sicko and all? Maybe if Urcast or Dexter buys it for him.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Dexter, he gets the bomb plant, 2,900. That could be an AWP drop for Sicko, if they want it.
What if he gets another kill? How about that? Oh,
it's not happening.
It was very close. Still, you won't be disappointed with that round as Grayhound. They take their time in getting there, don't they? Last couple of rounds.
I want to see this money. Show me the money. There you go, 6,100.
Oh yeah, he definitely has a lot of money.
You do it. I don't know if you'll want to though.
First T round, you're up 9-8. I don't think it's entirely necessary. You can always keep it in the back pocket, see how you go with the 5 rifle setup.
ELM in the server right now?
Huh?
Interested. Maybe MC can check that for me.
A what?
If Neil M's in the server.
Oh.
Because when it's late in Aussie time, that's actually like the middle of the day.
Maybe he is.
That's like prime time.
I think you probably put the AWP on Sicko here, actually. He has been hitting shots.
Yep.
So I don't
Good
see
with
why
that
not.
weapon.
He's been having a good day.
Tactical into technical. Next up, spiritual pause.
Yeah.
Everyone take a second to pray.
It's actually just been a technical pause. There was a graphical error. There's no tac pause here.
All right, Jordan. Whatever, mate.
Yeah, just letting you know. You're wrong again.
This is the kind of toxicity that I have to deal with day in, day out. But we are back into the game, so I can distract myself from the hurt.
And I was right. Sicko has gone for the AWP.
Just stop, mate. Anytime.
What do you mean?
You're welcome to.
You're just a hater.
What we don't hate is watching these clever boosts to make sure no one's peeking short. Could have given Grayhound a free frag, but no one's pushing there. No AWP for the CT side. So but that's a potential advantage Grayhound could utilise. Look at the difference in approach between the two teams. Chiefs, they throw about 1 million grenades. Grayhound, they just do it the old-fashioned way. Walk out, we use our guns, maybe one flash, and then take a little bit of a look. But we don't really need to use any crazy utility to take this map control. We just look at them. They've used a flash, a smoke, and a Molotov. And they've got catwalk control and push the CTs off mid. Not that they were really fighting for it in the first place.
Well, the incendiary will come back in response from Chiefs, so... Speaking of that control, it's starting to be recontested by Chiefs and recontested well. Ofnu will get the first as the smoke blooms.
This is what we saw from Ofnu against Fnatic, right? Just this literally unstoppable aggression.
Yeah, and it's going to happen again. The flashbang comes through. Forces Dick Stacey to think about his life. Look at the wall. Oh my god, he's actually hit Sicko there as well. Ofnu is hitting everything at this point. Gets the USB out. There goes Sicko. Might as well have a crack at Malta. Pick up the 4K. And that is actually going to spread. But Ofnu's just so clean.
That's just
That's casual.
He's like such an intelligent player, and then he just employs the dumb idiot repeatedly wide peak so well. The spectrum of Ofnu. 1v4 clutch against Order, perfect positioning and really good angle usage, you know, sneaking through certain places in the mid-round, and then Ofnu on Dust 2. Turns the brain off.
WM1. Well, can you knock it if it works?
I can't.
Good tag from Malta. Very close to a headshot if I was watching it correctly, but no such luck this time for Grayhound. We're actually equalized for Chiefs. So that was kind of...
That was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I mean, that's what we saw against Fnatic, as you mentioned. And like I said, for Chiefs during that half-time break, I think the CT side actually is not going to be too bad for them here on Dust 2. So might have a game on our hands here, Grayhound. Need to step up. Although they have been pretty decent on these sort of pistol buys.
Can't count them out.
We'll see if they can do some more damage to the Chiefs' economy, which really hasn't quite started to blossom yet.
It's going to start them off well. Like you said, economy not too great for Grayhound just yet. So every kill that they get, for Chiefs rather. So every kill that Grayhound gets on Chiefs, you're going to be pretty happy with.
Bomb's just gone straight into CT spawn as well.
Ah, well, that's not what this round was really about in the first place, was it, John?
No, definitely not.
Question of damage here for Grayhound. Two guns, not too bad. Pretty good. Oh, they actually choose the AK over the AUG. I don't know about that. I like the AUG better.
Maybe Texter likes the AK better.
Maybe.
Which actually may be a good point. I don't feel as though we particularly often see him with the AUG.
Maybe he likes the AUG better.
Yeah, well, I suppose so. Double AWP set up for Chiefs. Single AWP there for Grayhound. They've just afforded it. It goes very, very low on money. Out onto long again, though. This time with some aggression quickly up short, and that is quite quickly going to be dealt with by Blitz.
Key player out of the equation early on for Grayhound. Dexter goes down. Now long, short control taken, and Blitz posting up, waiting for another player. Peek onto his angle. Double cross smokes is going to allow them across, and Molotov onto the site and in towards Gandalf, but Blitz has got the smoke to put that out, so he's perfectly safe, just chilling there and waiting for the rotations to come back in.
Yep. That said, his position is known, so there is something to be said for that. Urcast as well is doing Urcast things, and Malta will plant the bomb, safe from the orb of Blitz if he were to peek out. Still hiding in his little cutout. It's going to be Zusi that'll open things up. Dick Stacey to trade back. We're in the 2v2 now with Blitz also finding a frag, but they know Dick Stacey is at Goose. Do they know Sicko is down the bottom of long with the orb? It doesn't seem like they do right now, and a missed shot from Blitz. That might well win the round, and it does. Grayhound, more so Dick Stacey, gets away with a round for himself and for his team.
And 2 guns taken away from Chiefs in that previous round is going to make 2 of their players very poor and have $1,700 and be in double eco territory. So these ecos have a massive impact in terms of how the economy swings when the Ts do come back, or the CTs. Whoever ends up on that gun round does come back and win the round. That's exactly what's happened to Chiefs here. 3 of their players have 3.5k because they were able to keep their guns up, or they didn't have to drop. And 2 of the players have 1,700, so they're going to have to be in this weird money situation where they're thinking, what the hell do we do with this?
Money talks.
Good input.
Unless it's the US dollar, and then you drop it in a puddle.
And or you rip it slightly.
And then it doesn't exist anymore.
What do you even do with that? Do you like... Actually, I know. I watched a 6-minute... One of those 6-minute, like, big story videos on YouTube where there's, like, a whole department where they stick the currency back together.
Is that possible?
Yep.
With like sticky tape or like actually properly?
Like proper tools.
How's that work?
They do it by hand as well. They don't even have a machine for it.
So they're like.
I'll link you the video later.
I'm interested. I'm interested. You're gonna have to probably link it in Twitch chat as well at the right time, so that when people watch this VOD, they're gonna be able to find it.
Don't think I'm capable of that.
Come on, mate. It's not that hard.
Guess what? I don't even have a Twitch account.
Yeah, you do. It was like hacked by some. Where were they from?
I think Argentina and India, and then yeah, I think it was just Argentina, India. Oh, Indonesia as well.
Yep. Classic.
Everyone's getting in on my Twitch account. It's been logged into like 2 times.
Why not?
And everyone wants to get into it.
I would want to.
Come on, guys. Who really wants to know that badly?
Wait, are we still talking about the US dollar thing, or?
Gonna hack anything.
Chiefs are saving their USPs, by the way.
Yeah. Look, maybe it's a bit of the exits here.
Maybe. Whoa. If they get 2, they'll be happy. 1, maybe not quite enough. Better than 0, I suppose.
What do?
What
Is this buy?
No.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Damas's. And SMGs.
Double AWP, though.
Double AWP, yeah, you're right.
Not a lot of utility.
That could get them a first pick. Potentially ×2. But despite having the first pick last time, Grayhound was still able to win the round, so... Quick catwalk control. Let's see if Blitz is going to hit this shot again. So that would make Chiefs' life 10 times easier.
Oh, there's 2 Ts this time, not just the 1.
2 times the trouble.
Ooh, would have been a good shot if he hit it. That's a nice flash.
He's going to go hop back in his car.
Vroom, vroom. Slow and steady for Grayhound. They'll take a bit of control on short.
Bit of control on short, bit of a mid to B smoke. Bit of a keep Chiefs guessing about what the hell is going on.
Maybe waiting for the push from the bedroom player. Malta hasn't spotted much yet, and eventually does rotate off.
That Malta isn't interested in a bit of a push in the bedroom.
Doesn't surprise me, actually. Not normally him that's having much luck there. What do I know? Utility to come through here from Grayhound. Looks like it will indeed be the mid to B, but Chiefs quite nicely set up for this. 3 players there. The first contact taken by Tux, but are they aware of Opnu? The terror of Dust 2. Tux will go through the smoke as well. And that is going to catch Grayhound off guard for sure. And unless these players out from upper tunnels are going to have a big impact, which, well, it's Urcast. He may well still. The round is looking very dire indeed for Grayhound. Need to get that bomb down quickly, Sicko, and he will. Chiefs are going to allow that at least. Can Urcast do something magical to turn this round back on its head? The utility's not great for Chiefs. Just a flashbang, a Molotov, and a smoke. Smoke to go through into the upper tunnel. Tux completely catching Urcast, but now it's Sicko's time to shine. He doesn't know Blitz is coming from behind. If he just watched window, he might have won that round.
So the utility wasn't much, but when they're all used perfectly.
Yeah. Well, I feel
Molotov
like
flushes Sicko off the side.
Urcast got caught napping a little bit.
Flash comes over the top, blinds someone.
No, he wasn't fully flashed.
A little bit is all it takes sometimes, Jordan.
Okay. In more facets of life than just Counter-Strike.
That's right. Speaking from experience.
Oh, yeah.
Only one alive there for Chiefs, though, and Grayhound aren't even really to the bottom of their money pool just yet. So if they do win this round, they're going to put Chiefs back in the bin economically. If they lose it, worst case scenario, they take a single save. Best case scenario, they can still buy in the next. Chiefs take the long control, shift the rotations over towards CT. Going to get that boost up on this mid to B area. Grayhound taking the catwalk control, making sure no one's pushing the extremities towards B tunnel or towards the bedroom. And I'd say Grayhound have pretty consistently been able to get themselves into this position round after round.
But they've pretty consistently been smashed by Opnu so far. There it is again. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Definitely feels as though Dust 2 is his map. Grayhound now headed in the direction of another round deficit, which they quite quickly brought back in the first half. But maybe it'll be a little bit more difficult now in the second half. Feels like Chiefs are really starting to get warmed up. Ofnu in particular, though, that goes a little awry. And now Sicko in a 1v3. He'll want to try and do some damage here. Notice that the Zinti economy isn't what it really needs to be. Big shot to miss. It should be Zusi now to finish things off here. But too scared to peek that AWP of Sicko, which really would not be disagreeing with. Gonna get the bomb down here. He'd be very lucky to. Oh, he gets the leg onto Zusi as well. So close. Sicko almost another highlight reel moment for him. What? Where's the money out here for Grayhound?
Yeah, Dick Stacey and Dexter with the 3.5 is a bit of a rough situation to be in, but everyone else pretty decent in terms of the cash. Could go either way here for Grayhound. 3 alive for Chiefs. They're going to go for this double AWP. Still Chiefs' money not fantastic. 1k on 3, 0 on the rest.
Oh, it was a bite from Grayhound.
Still potential here for Grayhound to break the Chiefs' economy.
It's a hero AK. No,
okay.
It's a full investment. Dexter trolled me a little bit.
What a memer. Buying a CZ.
Yeah. See what he can do with it. A lot of early utility. Dexter with the CZ just tries rushing straight out from bedroom. It's not going to work. Dexter watching the angle. The rest of the Grayhound players are the ones that they do need to be a little bit aware of. The guys with the AKs.
Here we go. Ofnu. He's doing his thing. Oh my god!
Oh, almost gets all 4.
Blink and you'll miss it. Where did Grayhound just go?
I literally did blink. And then all 3 players were dead. And I was like, oh, I missed it. So hopefully we can get a replay of that. I heard you say, Ofnu's doing his thing. I was like, what thing? And then it was already done.
That's what it was. It did him dirty.
13-11. That round is over before you would have even thought it started.
Dexter gets the first pick. Grayhound goes, all right, how can we close out this round in the 4-on-5? We'll go mid to beat. And Ofnu goes, how about you don't?
How does Malte survive there? 13-11. And if Chiefs win here, it puts them 1 map away from Occitani. Look at this from Ofnu. Like, he just has no fear at the moment. 2 for 1. That's good enough, even against the pistols. It'll be an AUG over for Dexter, and we know that he is a bit of a power player for Grayhound, so maybe he can make something of this. Maybe he can punish Ofnu for the push.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good play from Ofnu, but I don't know. It's a bit of a psychological play, perhaps.
Where does Dexter go with this? Does he drop down into CT? No, looks like he's going to challenge onto the A site. Zusi goes down. It's the opener for Dexter. He can throw the gun across to Sicko for this late round, or actually it'll go to Urcast. Either way, Texas made a bit of noise there jumping up from Xbox, but he should get a frag here off that grenade. It'll be Dexter to go down, a 2-for-1 trade. Urcast couldn't make anything of the AUG, and now it's onto Sicko with a P250. Knows one at least is coming from short. Has no idea where the other is. They probably suspects it's long, and now that information improves to be correct, but it's tucks from short. Double finish it for Chiefs, puts them up to 14.
Lost a lot of guns there for Chiefs, and Grayhound have a lot of loss bonus built up. So Chiefs, not bad money, all things considered, but Grayhound are going to be able to buy for quite a while.
Well,
problem is they don't have many more rounds to play.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, do they have a while to buy? Because a couple of rounds and this is over. You know, in 5 minutes, this game could be 1-0.
What are we going to do if that happens?
Probably take a break, come back for map number 2, see what happens then.
Bit of Overpass, which, by the way, is not a bad map for the Chiefs, at least from what I've seen. What is that, like a restaurant or something?
Villa.
The T-spawn?
Villa, to me, would be...
Is that a hotel?
Yeah, like... Yeah, it says hotel or something in the corner there.
Okay.
I think. I don't speak that language. I don't know what it is. French? Arabic?
Bit of both.
I mean, Arabic is not with those characters, so... I don't know. I'm not even going to dig myself in that hole any more than I already have.
Racist.
Yeah.
French and Arabic isn't the same, idiot.
Yep. Well, I knew that. Believe it or not.
Get him Twitch chat. Alright. Grayhound, again, same sort of approach. Blitz getting aggressive on towards Catwalk, trying to get Chiefs a early advantage. Make it that much easier for them. Grayhound again, taking this Catwalk control, making sure no one's pushing the extremities. Consistent approach from the lads. Molotov to push Blitz off this angle, or at least push him a couple inches further back.
Not sure that's going to make too much of a difference to the angle, to be honest. Blitz is going to hit the shot anyway. Dexter falls again.
How many times have Dexter got first picked in this game so far? It's been a roughie for him. And
say,
it's not necessarily because he's doing anything wrong, it's just happening.
Feels like a sense of deja vu every time he tries to push that angle. Blitz is there waiting with the AWP, and it's Dexter that goes down. Whether he's there with his teammates or whether he's there alone.
The Grayhound in this 4-on-5. Try and consolidate things by going for a bit of an execute towards the safe bomb site.
A lot of noise being made by Grayhound as they jump down. Offnu tries to capitalize on it, but he actually does get found out by Urcaster. Chance in the round now, as I speak perhaps a little too soon. Zuzi, Texter, Blitz all finding one. And again, it's Sicko in the clutch situation. This time, again, able to get the bomb down, but 1v3. Texter already close up. Zuzi will finish it off. It's just too much work for him to do.
Will be another buy for Grayhound, though. Chiefs money pretty stable at this point, but this isn't undoable for Grayhound to come back in these last couple. Really feels like Chiefs have a pretty good idea of how to break down the way that Grayhound's playing at the moment, because they have been... I mean, I almost feel like I haven't 100% been paying enough attention sort of thing, but it really does feel like they're doing pretty much the same thing every round almost. Damage from each AWPer onto each other. This time a bit of a switch up from Grayhound. They pick up the pace. Quick pressure on towards Catwalk and middle, which might be throwing Chiefs off guard a little bit. Now Grayhound waiting in the mid round for any kind of aggression, and there it is. Dick Stacey coming out middle. He's going to punish Texter for the retake. Malta gets a pick on Offnu, pushing in towards Long Hut. So here's the big advantage for Grayhound.
Yeah, it's a different defense from Chiefs, and it doesn't seem to be working out. Grayhound have found the advantages this time. Will they actually finish it off, though? That's a nice combination from Blitz and Tux. The Molotov to force Dick Stacey into Blitz's crosshair, but it's not really going to be enough to keep Chiefs in the round, and they're going to back away. They'll try and save these two guns. Money hasn't been good for Chiefs. They've been really kept honest in most of these rounds. Grayhound have been keeping it close. So you say it's not impossible that Grayhound does come back into this. I would say it seems like it. It's a big task, but if anyone's going to be able to do it in the ANZ region, it is going to be Grayhound. Where do we go in the overtime? If it does get to overtime, I think at that point start to favour Grayhound again. But for now, it's Chiefs' map to lose.
Chiefs being very wise, knowing that there's plenty of gun rounds to come, and with their success in the last couple of rounds, their loss bonus isn't strong, so they need to be very responsible with this money, because if they're not, they could end up getting reset closer to that 13, 14 round mark. You don't want to be giving Grayhound any freebies to come back into this overtime. Already Chiefs, that's it for the cash, right? That's it. Last bit of money that they really had access to. So if they lose this round, it's going to be eco territory on the on the 29th rather, and then after that, the last round or the last two rounds, they'll be able to buy again. Just the last round, sorry.
Oh, is the walk through the smoke going to be the right idea? Tux waiting. There's no one else on this bomb site. And Tux, oh, he actually gets two. That's pretty good from him. Offnu going to take the recontest. Sicko finds actually a couple for himself as well. How has that happened? He gets one onto Ofnu and Texter dies in the incendiary.
Malta's in the key position, lurking up catwalk. Could backstab both of these players. Sicko knows he doesn't have to rush this plant here.
Malta has to be a little quiet. In fact, Zusi dies. What? How has he gotten so many kills? That's 2 kills in the round from Molotovs. But Blitz, he knew where Malta was, but Malta certainly knew where Blitz was too.
You got to be kicking yourself if you blitz. All you had to do was click on him to end the game.
Oh, well, to be fair, that's like saying, oh, Malta, all you had to do was click on Blitz. That's literally what he did. He did.
See, that is absolutely accurate. It's that easy.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see that aim battle go the way of the AWP. It's a great shot hit from Malta.
100%.
Keeps the game alive for Grayhound, and that might be what they need, that little bit of burst of momentum, as we know Grayhound is a very momentum-based team, to push them into that overtime and perhaps even further.
Yeah, right, though. Those Molotov kills.
Like, how he got 2, and it didn't even seem like either of them really were the player necessarily under pressure or anything like that. They weren't your standard Molotov kills. Tuck somehow has actually got an Urcast there.
You're a PUBG fan, right?
Yeah, well, I like a bit of PUBG.
I describe that as a bit of a Wadu deck.
Ah, I understand the meme to which you have referenced. I have spent a little bit of time on the twitch.tvs myself, Billy.
Is that where we're streaming at the moment?
Hello, fellow children.
You guys heard of Shroud?
Can't say I have.
One gun saved rather, which will definitely help boost up this economy a little bit more for the Chiefs. Better than nothing. Here we go. Next round, Grayhound is going to have an opportunity to take this into overtime.
Yeah, it'd be a little heartbreaking for them if this goes 16-14, to be honest. And a lot of work to get back here. Maltus hit such a good shot. You'd be thinking, oh, come on, guys. We hit such a great shot. What do you mean we couldn't finish it off? God damn it. That's what he sounds like.
By coming out here for the Chiefs, are they going to go for the double AWP? Nope. I think Ofnu is wondering why I think they overbought there. There was definitely one drop too many. You definitely don't want $3,000 on one of your players heading into the last round. I think you would much rather have full utility on some more of your players, which they don't. That's going to be a bit of a problem here. Potentially could lose them the round that will push it into overtime. So though, Grayhound grouping up in towards B tunnel. Aggression on short from Chiefs will mean a quicker rotation time once this hit does come out. The flash is not sublime here from Grayhound. This could be a quick shot here by Texter.
Yeah, indeed. Here comes all that utility. Well, there wasn't even a flash. Dick Stacey, what a nice entry from him. And Tux will go down as well. Pilly, it feels as though we go to overtime from here. 3v4 for the retake for Chiefs. They're going to need to make it a good one. There'll be the smoke over into the tunnels. But a lot of players on this bomb site, and the flank coming across again from Malta. He won the round from this position last time. And he's able to get an incredibly crucial pick onto Blitz. Now it leaves it onto Ofnu. He's got so many angles to watch. This is going to be overtime. Urkas dies in a Molotov. How has that happened? And now Malta dies too. And the bomb's not planted. That's what... What is going on?
How has he died to a Molotov? Ofnu flanking around. Here we go.
Oh god, Sicko, 1v1. He's had a lot of chances at the clutch, but he's up against Ofnu. He knows, and he hits the shot. How did he know? Oh, I don't know what to say about that round, or the last couple of rounds, to be honest. So many kills from the Molotovs. Jeez,
like the approach there from Grayhound, though, in the last round. Just to group up and hit in towards B tunnel. Chiefs, bit of a shaky economy, didn't have all the utility that they possibly could have got access to. But even then, they would have been a bit weaker on the utility side. And it's hard to really describe, but when you're in a 15-14 situation like that, you're under a lot of pressure as the Chiefs. And when nothing happens for a while, and you're sort of sitting, waiting around for something to happen, and then that hit comes in with the pace that Grayhound sort of hit in the mid-round there. You're sort of waiting and the pressure's building up more and more and nothing's really happening. And then Dick Stacey just flies out tunnels.
Yeah.
It can be a little bit to deal with, you know. All of a sudden, Grayhound just stream out at you with no real tell that anything's coming.
Yeah, not even a flashbang, like you said. Zeus's looking pretty lonely. Oh, there we go. He's got some friends now. So who does this favour now? I mean, is it Greyhounds? They've got the momentum 4 rounds in a row.
I think Chiefs should be feeling pretty good because they have good utility on this CT side. The Texter cops a bit of a tag on the cross.
Not
Quick
too
one
pleased.
out towards long.
Well, they spotted Zeusy as well. He's under pressure, needs some help from someone, but there isn't really going to be anything past the flashbangs from Ofnu, which actually does enough. Zeusy going to use it. He does actually throw the smoke down there as well. If Zeusy manages to get away with finding a frag here, I'm going to be very impressed indeed. Greyhound will not be happy at all. There is a nice flashbang coming through from Tux. Zeusy the 1-for-1, but it's opened the door for Tux. Trades come back from Malta though. He's really stepped up in the last few rounds. 3v2 now for Greyhound. Might start the overtime off with a round advantage. If they can capitalize on this. Double AWP for Chiefs though. So picks are always a potential. And look at what Texter's doing.
Trying to take matters into his own hands.
Oh, hasn't spotted them on the cross, and he won't. But they might... Nope, don't quite spot him.
Worst case scenario for Chiefs, unfortunately, because he's going to think, hey, they're still waiting in long. They're just being patient. They know they have the man advantage. More often than not, with the timing that there was only a couple seconds for Greyhound to get back into this position. So in Texas' mind, he's gone, hey, 9 times out of 10, they're chilling at long, and they're just waiting for us to make that one mistake. That's still what he's thinking. He's still edging back towards Catwalk. Utility expended by Blitz, he still thinks they're towards long, but only now when they're hearing the utility coming across onto this big swamp site will Texter think to himself, damn it.
Damn it.
That 5-second window, they've hit it.
And he just gets tagged by the Molotov as well. Not much chance for Chiefs here. Alright. See what they can see. Texter going to be the one to lead the charge right into Dick Stacey's headshot. And Blitz, well, might as well save the AWP at this point because I don't think he's pulling off a 3v1 here.
Alright, first round goes the way of Greyhound.
Yep, round advantage, which they have not had for a while.
True.
Yep.
They had it in the first half, right?
Yes, they did. They were up 9-6 at the end of the half, actually.
Singular AWP this time for the Chiefs. Those cool shades. Bet you wish you had a pair of cool shades like that.
I do have cool shades, actually.
Okay. That's what being a esports superstar gets you these days,
That's
I guess.
right. If anyone wanted to see them, just go have a look at Elfish Guy on Twitter. Scroll through some of the pictures. You'll find them eventually.
Sure, that's what a lot of people will be doing tonight once this game's over.
While you're there, you can drop us a follow too. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Wouldn't recommend it, but, you know, if you're into that kind of thing, I guess...
Well, definitely do not follow Pili CSGO on Twitter either.
Actually, your Twitter account's not bad, to be honest.
Preach. Often he's up to his usual tricks. But this time not having the success that he did in regulation time.
Greyhound, bit of pressure on long. Now heading back towards Catwalk and middle, but the re-aggression in from Ofnu and Tux. 2-man setup. Tux anti-flash. Dick Stacey's just been walking up time and time again, and this time, same thing. Why would he not do it? They've never seen this kind of approach from Chiefs, and it's working out beautifully for them. 2-man advantage for the Chiefs, and Greyhound now smoked out of shorter, pretty much with 40 seconds to go, forced into mid to B, which might be the best play because Blitz is the only one on that B site.
Only the one smoke for Greyhound right now. Sicko does have it in his possession. He started to rotate actually through upper tunnels, but now realizes he does have to throw that mid to B smoke. So that's going to go down. Means that all 3 Greyhound players are going to be here. Flashbang's going through onto Tux. Means he won't have too much of an impact. Pushing through the smoke. It's a 2-for-1 actually when all's said and done. But now Texter is here to clean everything up. Just way too many Chiefs players there. If there was even maybe one more pick earlier in the round for Greyhound, they might have had a chance, but not this time. We're back to 16-16. So who goes through to the second half of overtime with the round advantage?
Can be a pretty huge thing to have that round advantage as well, because if you win the next round of the following overtime half, you pretty much put yourselves on that point, which can put a lot of teams under pressure that they can't recover from. Four-man set up towards towards long for Chiefs, and Grayhound just runs straight out mid. The rotation's coming back, scrambling to get in position. Unbelievable that Tux hits that shot, and Ofnu as well. Chiefs are getting away with bloody murder, literally.
They certainly are. Blitz now as well. Going to fire a few shots into the smoke. Won't have much luck in that respect. Stacy is out by Carbon Tux. What a man. Straight through the doors. Cleans up 2. It's 3 for the round for him. Chico's got no hope.
That's just unbelievable. Like, Grayhound did the direct counter to the setup from Chiefs, and then Chiefs just scrambling to get in position back towards mid, hit some nut shots, and then won the round.
Yeah, not much you can do about that, I suppose, as Grayhound. Not sure that one's enough for them. I suppose Chiefs will go through feeling pretty comfortable onto this T side.
Yeah.
But then again, like the 2-1 split, I guess, is fairly representative of what we saw in regulation time as well.
I guess so.
With the 9-6 on CT side, it's the 33%.
Got to remember, though, that Grayhound looked pretty impressive on that CT side, I have to say. It felt like Chiefs were they got the pistol right. Overall, the gun round stats would have been, I would say, pretty heavily in favour of Grayhound, gun on gun.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure Chiefs won one anti-eco for sure after the pistol, maybe even a second anti-eco after that. And then overall in gun rounds, probably 3 or 4, whereas Grayhound probably had to win a fair few of their rounds in gun versus gun rounds.
Fair enough.
There will be no pistol for Chiefs to win this time.
Mm-hmm.
My big problem, Jordan.
What's that?
Where are the DAC-DACs?
I mean, I don't know
Got
if I really want to
16K.
know all about your problems, but certainly not on broadcast. No DAC-DACs, well...
No extra AWPs to tag people on the cross? Come on. Give it a go.
You're a bit of a demanding bloke, aren't you?
Let's see if you like it.
Tell me what you really want.
Well, Chiefs want to go straight down mid. That's what I can tell you. It's going to be a very quick mid to B split, but Malta's in position and he's doubling up.
Not tripling up, though. But that's probably good enough to give Grayhound the round, especially with the shot here from Dexter. And he might do it himself. Doesn't quite know exactly where Blitz is, but certainly has a read now. The shotgun AWP going to come out for him, and he'll get it. There goes Blitz. Nice defense from Dexter. Good start from Malta, and we are straight back to even Steven, 17 apiece.
Hey, you shotgun AWP, you point the pointy end at him, and then you just pull the trigger.
Sticking with the pointy end. Learned that one in Game of Thrones. Rest in peace.
Really is over. Thank God.
I'm still a bit sad. Don't worry about it, though. There'll be some more. There's prequels, sequels, everything. They're not going to give up on that cash cow.
You can milk that thing till the cows come home.
Just like Star Wars until they really kill it. If you didn't think it was dead yet, well, it will be in a couple of years.
Oh, Chiefs. Flashes into middle. Molotov onto Cat. Waiting for some pushes on the extremities. Nothing will really be given to them. Some mollies out and some utility into long heart and onto short. As Sicko, it's his job to watch this short area. Great nade. Wow. How much was that? 80 damage?
Actually, yeah, roughly.
Pretty good.
Very happy with that.
Nades mean so much on this CT side if you're able to chip people, because then, you know, it's what, 2 bullets from the AUGs or a single headshot? Even if you only do 10 damage with it, it can make all the difference, because you could just get that single one tap. It wouldn't be available to you before. Here's this A split coming out from Chiefs.
And Malta is ready and waiting. He's spotted the bomb now. And he's going to tell the boys to start rotating across if they hadn't already, which, to be fair, they pretty much have. Zusi actually does get out. Blitz will not. And now Zusi really doesn't have much to play for in this round. He can kill Sicko, but MR3 16k doesn't really make much of a difference. 18-17 match point for Grayhound. They haven't had one so far. Chiefs had 4.
Talk about a turnaround from Malta. The man was like 10 for 20 at one point. And now he's throughout the late stages of coming back into the game on that T side for Grayhound. And then in this overtime, he's what, like 14 and 2 or something? 14 and 4?
I don't know. Don't give him too much praise. I start to think he's good. Dexter gets Texter. One of my favourite interactions of the Chiefs-Greyhound matchup.
Yeah, and this
That or
is
vice
map
versa.
point for Greyhound, so that's a lot of pressure on Chiefs to lose the first pick like that. See how they handle it.
Well, you said they've been pretty good at bringing back the 4v5s in yesterday's match. But are they going to be able to do it this time? Urcast has a pretty strong position. As soon as this smoke fades, Zusi's going to really be under pressure if he doesn't get onto Sicko quickly, which is not going to happen. Sicko's found 2. It's looking like the map is now in the hands of Grayhound. You don't want to give them that inch, otherwise they are going to take the mile, and that is exactly what is occurring right now. Tux in a 1v5. Can the man himself put it into overtime number 2? Well, perhaps not. Urcast is there and puts it through for Grayhound. 19-17. They only needed the one opportunity to get the job done. And Grayhound head us into map 2, their own map of Overpass as well, with a map advantage.
Yeah, and they really earned it. The massive comeback from the lads, and unfortunately from the last matchup, the first map was a bit of a close affair, but then after Chiefs did lose that one after some back and forth rounds, the next one was pretty one-sided, so I hope it doesn't happen this time around.
Yeah, definitely looking a little bit difficult for the Chiefs. I think really when you consider how things went for them in that first map, they will consider that that should have been their map. Whether or not they're going to have the mental fortitude to come back here in map 2, we are going to have to find out. It's time for us to take a quick break. Obviously, Overpass coming up next, and that is the map of Grayhound. Can they finish it in 2, or does Chiefs put us through to a 3rd? We'll be back in a bit.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why we play, right?
Oh, it's a lovely sound in my ears, Alex. It's a lovely sound.
Who thinks that the North American Counter-Strike scene is back?
Chicago, make some noise for Team American.
This is their chance to grab a trophy on home soil.
Taco waits below it, though. Taco waits below it, and he holds! That's absolutely sensational!
Think he can't clutch through a smoke while recording in full resolution and streaming the play to the world? Watch this. Think he can't get famous in a flash? Like become your own meme famous? Watch this. Think he's been there, done that? With Intel Core i7, he's just getting started. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Beau spectacle.
The Pay Safeguard Ultimate Experience is your chance to win a trip to the biggest esports events around the globe. Get VIP access together with paid travel and accommodation. You will get a special event goodie bag and will also appear in your own personal aftermovie. An ultimate experience is guaranteed. Make sure to check out paysafeguard.com/esports for further information.
This is Game Fuel. 16 ounces of pure annihilation. Tastes like berry-flavored wind sauce.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Set aside your subdivide. I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight we go inside. The man he is the one. You build your walls with faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all defy the burden to be born. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your mission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved throne. We can take your conviction. We are many of one. You may call it a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Occitanie, Betway, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and PaySafeCard.
For Grayhound after they finish off the map choice of Chiefs. It was Dust 2. We know it's a decent map for Grayhound, but it did look like Chiefs should finish it off. They're up 15-11. They had 4 match points, and then into the overtime we go, and Grayhound from there do actually get it relatively comfortably. It was 19-17. There was a bit of leeway for them. But look, when all's said and done, now we go into map 2, and this is Grayhound's map choice. It's Overpass. I would say on paper probably their best map. Then you kind of would counter that with Chiefs not looking too bad on it yesterday, but I wonder how this is going to go. I mean, I think this really sets it up on a platter perhaps for Grayhound in that this could be a 2-0 now.
Yeah, I think it's less about the maps and more sort of about just the missed opportunity that Chiefs will feel like they have sort of had dealt to them by Grayhound, and that's a classic Grayhound performance. Despite being ahead, they sort of, despite Chiefs being ahead rather, they sort of keep it cool and they're able to still just grind their way back into the game, even though, you know, they were losing. They always sort of play the same sort of way. It's not like the pressure really gets to them and they throw any kind of crazy strats in the mix usually a lot of the time. They just kind of play the same way regardless of what the scoreline is, and they're still able to get it done despite facing any kind of odds.
Yeah, some really, really big plays out from individuals there though on Grayhound that ultimately kept them alive in regulation time. You have to go back to the round that Malta hit such a good shot onto Blitz all the way from CT up onto the B bomb site with the AK headshot.
That could have been the game right there.
I mean, that probably should have been the game 9 times out of 10, but Malta somehow brings out a bit of the Malta magic.
And he had a lot of that Malta magic towards the later parts of that game. I mean, plenty of spray down, shutting down a lot of these splits from Chiefs on that T side. It's great to see from the man. And now heading into Overpass, Chiefs is a team that we've seen specifically in this matchup. When they have missed a bit of an opportunity or they do lose a game like that, they can tend to fall flat in the map following, and that's not what I want to see from the Chiefs. I want to see them show some of that resilience that we saw yesterday against Order and be able to pick themselves up and still play a good game on not only Overpass and potentially winning Overpass, but then even moving on to Nuke. These are 2 maps coming up that, despite losing Dust to their map pick, they can still play both Overpass and Nuke. They can still make this a competitive series, and I expect them to, whether they win or they lose.
But when you say, like, okay, Chiefs may kind of fall apart a little bit after losing a map like that, are you referring to this Chiefs or just Chiefs in the past? Because
No,
I feel
this Chiefs.
Okay, fair, because this Chiefs is a fairly new roster, right? But in the grand scheme
I'm
of things.
specifically referring to the group stage game in this competition. The round 1 match that they played against Grayhound, where they had one game that was like a 16-11 or something, or a 16-10, where it was back and forth for some of the game, and then the second map was like a smashing.
Wonder if that's going to be what we do get to see here. Certainly not what we hope to get from the Chiefs. Now, to be fair, yesterday went the distance. I sort of expected today to go the distance. I don't know, like, am I overrating this Chiefs roster or what's going on? Because it seems like, okay, the Chiefs, they have good performances against everyone, but then when they go up against Grayhound, there's like this blocker almost.
How can you say you're overrating them? They could have very easily won that map. They
But
could be up 1-0
They
right
didn't,
now.
though. That's the problem.
I know that. It is massive.
You know,
right?
like, it's okay, great, they could have won the map, but end of the day, you go and look at the end of this series and it says 2-0, that's all that you're going to remember. You're not going to remember that Chiefs were up 15-11 and probably should have closed the map out. So if they don't find a way to come back into this, it again just raises a little bit of that question mark.
I think it's just the Grayhound factor, man. I think it's just a case of this matchup is a really tough one for Chiefs to deal with from time to time. The Grayhound players, they just have a little bit too much in the tank, a little bit too much class. And, you know, for a newer roster, maybe Chiefs haven't quite got what it takes to sort of take them on. You can see that they can make it competitive, but maybe potentially it's too much for them across a whole best-of-3 series or across a wider map pool. I think that there's always potential for this Chiefs roster to win one of these series, but it just never seems to sort of come to fruition.
That's exactly where I'm at. That's the exact same position where I'm sort of sitting. I feel like today could have been the day, but now I'm not so sure.
Yep.
Of course, we do know our second map is going to be Overpass, so why don't we go ahead and check out that map.
They say the best defense is a good offensive. That couldn't be more true on a map like Overpass. Starting each and every round spawning in the A bomb site, the counter-terrorists can sit and wait or take the fight to their opponent. Long, Fountain, Connector, and Sewer are all viable avenues for aggression and assertive plays. Going for all-in pushes, posturing for position, or throwing utility to feign map presence leaves the terrorists with a lot of questions. Quick rotations make Overpass the perfect playground for fakes, and calling a bluff can cost you dearly.
Well, that is Overpass.
My favourite map. I don't know
Is it
about
your
you.
favourite?
I love it.
I used to say Mirage was my favourite map, but I've kind of trended a little bit away from that. I'm finding Mirage a little bit less exciting these days. I think actually at the moment it's Train. Gotta go with Train. Train's been pretty exciting for me of late, but we don't get to see it too much, and maybe that's why. Once you get that sort of oversaturation, which is probably where we are at for Mirage. Okay, we know it's Overpass. We've seen the map. We've seen how it's supposed to play out. What's the key factor here for Chiefs and for Grayhound? I think, again, we always typically look at the AWPs to have a bit of an impact here, but is that something that we can say, or is that just sort of face value across the board?
I feel like the AWPs have been less sort of impactful across the board for most of these Oceanic rosters, to be honest. Like, usually you'd be saying Overpass is going to be pretty important for your AWPers to be having a really good game, but I feel like the rifling presence in general has been the main factor for a lot of teams. Guess we will find out. Chiefs starting out on the CT side. Grayhound going to get going on the T side of their map pick, which... ignore that player in spawn with the bomb. Obviously, that's some kind of a bug, and no one's died in tunnels. Bit of an overlay issue, which will be fixed instantly by MC. God, MC.
Big brain
in
MC.
The chat.
Can I get Kappa Ross in the chat? Because that's what MC looks like. He's got the hair for it. You can hit him up on MC_CSGO and check out that beautiful throw.
All right. Well, Grayhound going to try to make something beautiful happen in towards this A bomb site. Ofnu and Blitz going to try to hold them off.
And Ofnu, he has been a real thorn in the side of Grayhound. He's going to start off nicely this time as well. Down to 14 HP, and Grayhound will look to press the attack, but Blitz is there as well to help out. These pistols have really not been kind to Grayhound, although not so kind for Zeusy there either until he
Do you ever just miss 11 bullets and struggle to kill the guy, and then the 12th bullet, just flick over onto the other guy's head? Too easy. Oh, that is literally Zeusy in a nutshell, though, I feel like.
Yeah, that's just when the instincts kind of take over. It's less about trying to aim for the head and more just like flicking I don't know. Anyway, Chiefs have been very good on their pistols so far today. That is one takeaway for them. I think Grayhound have really struggled in that respect. But it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference. Ooh, those grenades. Well, that grenade being the only one, really. But that has really left Grayhound with a very low amount of HP across the board. And Blitz is going to have a field day here. Just look at him cleaning them all up. Almost the ace for him. Often took one.
5 alive for the Chiefs. That's going to keep their economy nice and strong. Now heading up against this Grayhound buy round. Good utility for all these Grayhound guys. Great job with the Caparosses in the chat. RIP. Don't think there's many people, I can't think of anybody or a better candidate at the moment for people who have died before I was born, but I've watched that much of their content.
Okay.
Alright, Grayhound taking this short B control as well as putting pressure on the connector. No real pressure on this A side of the map. Offnu as well as Blitz will be pretty well aware of that. This is not a full investment for the Chiefs from anyone except for Offnu. They're keeping this MP9 Scout Famis as they're trying to get it done with the lackluster weaponry. A classic Grayhound move. All of the lads have pretty much taken map control without too much utility usage. Offnu in the connector gets absolutely destroyed by Dick Stacey.
Got dicked on.
Absolutely got dicked. 100% agree. Now Chiefs in the 4-on-5 with their best weapon taken out of the equation. Probably quaking in their boots a little bit. They don't really have any information towards A. Flash goes out onto long. Don't really have anyone aggressing towards bracket. Dick Stacey's even going to flash in towards bracket. And this is a classic Grayhound move. Take the middle of the map. Throw some utility over towards one side and keep your opponent guessing. And then completely read the rotations perfectly. And just put yourself in an advantageous scenario. They've done it again. Smokes fly out towards this B site. Good flash is going to start to rain in towards the site. One-way smoke thrown out towards barrel. And that's all Chiefs really have going for them.
Well, Tux is in a pretty precarious position. He's going to be helped out a bit by Zeusy. Texter is there as well. The trade's starting to come back now for Grayhound. Good shot from Urcast, at least a 1-for-1, which is what he needed. But there's 15 seconds left now, and Grayhound have to get the bomb down. They don't know the Blitz is so close with the Scout, but I fail to consider what he's going to be able to do in a situation like this. The trade surely comes across. Well, he did actually put a bit of damage into Grayhound there, but it was never going to be a winnable situation for him if he had a rifle. If he had an AK or a FAMAS or even an SMG, he might have had something.
I think Chiefs for buy up here just number one because Grayhound had 1 alive at the end of that, and number 2 because their money was so different, distributed across the board. Offnu had 1,400, some of them had like 3.6k, some of them had 4k. Blitz had enough for an all. Many talking points for them to be able to do so. Good old Offnu. A wide peek into connector with only a P250 and light armor. Probably not going to work out for him, and it doesn't. But what more can you really do with, you know, that kind of utility and weaponry?
I don't know. Maybe try and flash Blitz into an angle, but it's too little too late for Blitz now. He's having a look into the connector, but nobody there left for Grayhound. True to their name, they've raced off.
Blitz is actually going to make the play. I mean, they're in a 4-on-5. They don't have the best weapons. He's going to start to hear Malta stomping over here towards T-Spawn. Malta actually just jumps right on top of him.
I would have laughed so hard if Malta actually survived there.
I would really, if we could record like the voice comms of the player, I would love to hear what Malta said when that happened.
Yeah, probably would be something that you wouldn't want to hear on a broadcast. Well, into the A bomb site we go for Grayhound. A good chance for Chiefs to bring back around, and Texter and Tux are doing a good job of that. But they are overwhelmed by the numbers of Grayhound. Getting a couple of frags, not quite enough. Blitz put into the 1v2 now. This time he does have an AWP. It looks much more doable for him than the last with the Scout, even though the time is playing in the favor of Grayhound and not him on this occasion. And in fact, without being given a peek, he's going to decide to give it up, which is fair enough. So the AWP is going to go through to the next round, but Grayhound will equalize at 2 apiece. They haven't let it get out of hand at all off the back of the pistol. It's well and good to be winning the pistols for Chiefs, but if they're not going to be able to clean up the gun rounds, that is where obviously the game is going to be won and lost.
Particularly when you go into overtime. And you have those gun rounds to play. Chiefs probably just going to buy some pistols around this AWP and try to make a competitive round of it.
Ooh, almost didn't catch up there.
No. Almost couldn't flick fast enough. Just enough sensitivity.
All I'm going to say is if Malta had a P90, he probably wins that aim duel. So, not sure why he hasn't fought one of them in this round.
Not learning from his mistakes, clearly.
I'll have a word to him next time I catch up.
Boost on blitz to peer into short B. Won't catch anybody making their way over there. Grayhound grouping up towards Monster. Dick Stacey's got this connector control, smoking off the left side. Here we go. Grayhound going to be creeping out. Blitz still on the boost. Might be caught out here.
Not quite, and he actually hits a fantastic shot onto Urcast. That might be the inroad into the round that Chiefs need to actually find a win. They've got a lot of players here. Grayhound haven't been able to trade back just yet. If Blitz is given one more angle...
Blitz has a flash that he could use for this middle of sight when Grayhound push up. He hasn't dropped it though. He could send his pistoling players in this whole time, but he still hasn't done so.
Yeah, trying to find the shots himself. Tucks actually a headshot onto Dick Stacey. Blitz knows that Sicko is trapped on the bomb site. But how does Chiefs get in here without much utility? Like you say, just the one flashbang here for Blitz. They have to be quick because they don't have a defuse kit. There goes the flash indeed, but it's not going to result in anything for Zusi. And again, Blitz in a 1v2. How many times he's been put in a clutch situation so far tonight. Misses the shot onto Dexter, but the trade probably would have come into effect from Malta anyway. It's another reasonably expensive round for Grayhound, but it's a round on the board nonetheless.
I feel like if Blitz drops that flash while most of his team's still alive in towards water there, that could have been an opportunity there for the Chiefs. But by the same token, could have been a situation where they will get sprayed down anyway. Grayhound, they've been winning these rounds, but not super cleanly. So their economy still hasn't really built up yet. Pretty much one or two alive most of the time from the lads. Decent nade onto Texter and Blitz. And Grayhound with a bit more of a spread out approach all over the map here. Dick Stacey in towards Connector once again. Offnu playing solo, actually backed up by Blitz this time, and Texter getting aggressive over towards Party. So heavy setup in towards this A side of the map. Door being opened as two people creep out Monster. Could potentially distract one of these Chiefs players, maybe incentivize them to actually jump spot, which is what Malta's looking for. Nice creative play out from Grayhound. Might just catch one of these players off guard. Zusi's only had a nade out.
Malta, what are you doing? Dexter's your friend. He's your friend. But maybe not anymore. 2v2. Bomb's not going to go down on the site just yet. I mean, stop shooting. He's already dead. Come on, bro. Next week, we're going to see Grayhound part of the roster shuffle. Malta out.
Selfish guy in?
No, well, look. At least I wouldn't kill Dexter. I would tell him to get a razor and shave the beard off, though. It's getting a bit straggly. Sicko, whoa, what a great shot from him. And he's put Malta in a winning position now. 1v1. He's got a grenade here as well. It probably isn't enough to finish Texter off. But headshot
I think we can forgive Malta there.
No! No! Never. I'll never forgive Malta. Never forgive him for what he's done to me.
Pretty good one tap at the end. I'm impressed.
I'm glad.
Chiefs now being put on the eco. Grayhound, again, not a convincing one. So again, their economy is pretty low. And these pistols that the loss bonus has afforded the Chiefs could do some serious damage to this economy and keep it nice and honest as we head forward into this game. But at the end of the day, if Chiefs aren't getting these CT rounds on the board and Grayhound continues to strike, then it's going to be rough days for the Chiefs lads.
It is looking like rough days right now.
But as long as they can keep this economy nice and low for Grayhound, there's always still the door a little bit open for them to get back into this game, right?
Yeah, exactly. What kind of damage can they do with the pistols here? So far, Grayhound haven't really suffered much of a loss, but a decent position for Offnu, and he's always been able to swindle something when he's been out behind Grayhound. Can he do it again? Well, they're well aware of what shenanigans are going on in the bathrooms. I'll leave that up to the imagination. But it doesn't involve Offnu anymore. He's been taken down. Dick Stacey there as well, getting involved. And this is looking to be probably the most comfortable round that Grayhound have had in a while. Actually, on Overpass in general, I'll say. Every single round they've really been challenged. But this one should be cleaned up nicely with 5 guns alive. Oh, well, spoke too soon. Castle's curse. Sicko that will cop the brunt of it this time. And Urkas just has to set himself and deal with Zusi. Stacey has a game of whack-a-mole going on there, and he'll get one before going down. Now it's Urkas' turn to see if he can beat that high score. And he won't be able to. Tux, he's whacking back. Has an AK now as well. Does he go for this? Well, if he got the kill onto Malta there, he would, but Dexter will finish it off.
Still alive again.
Still around.
Yep. Doesn't matter, got around.
Yep.
Does matter though.
Does it?
Look at the map.
If you keep winning rounds, it doesn't.
Look at the money.
But if Grayhound goes up 6-2, it doesn't matter.
The money.
But it doesn't matter.
Look at the money.
If they keep winning rounds. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
Alright, great.
Wow, that hurts.
What are you doing? What are they off to? They're in playground right now. A lot of pressure towards Con and B. This time, switching it up. Malta being left alone towards the B side of the map and everyone else going towards A.
Oh, great. Through the flashbang. Offnu there on the off angle as well. That's a perfect setup for Chiefs. Could not have gone better.
Even a tag onto Sicko. Add insult to injury.
This is where the economy does start to have a big impact.
That's it. Wise man once said it.
Don't know who that would have been.
Who?
Batman.
I didn't think he had any economic woes for the most part.
That's a good point. Well, that's nicely done from Sicko and Dexter, at least to open up bathrooms, but 50 seconds on the clock. There's still a lot of ground to cover for Grayhound here. Now you need to find another pick before they can really get into this site with a favourable situation.
Nice little head stack to potentially get a pick. Doesn't really get them anything, though.
If Malta creeps out at the right time, that's exactly what happens. He does get Blitz, who was watching the other angle. Now Tex has been spotted. Zusi on the rotation. Oh. Malta! Where has that come from?
Doesn't matter, one around.
Exactly. Doesn't matter how much money they have. Tux, he has to do the heroics again for his team. And this was the position that he was able to do it from last round with the Deagle. Now he has the AUG, spots out Dexter, but his position's given away, and Malta, well, I think, who was that? It must have been Dexter. Gets a little bit of revenge there onto Malta, throws a grenade straight at him. Got this.
That's a big opportunity thrown in the bin for Chiefs.
Yes, much like a previous map. Just not quite being able to get it done against Grayhound tonight. We had high hopes, but they do not appear to be eventuating. Certainly not so far. So many close rounds, but like I said, doesn't really matter if they're close. If Grayhound just keeps winning, well, it may still have an impact. Chiefs still can continue to put some damage into Grayhound here with the pistols, and they do. Dick Stacey's down low. Blitz should finish it off, and he will. Not sure that's going to be an aim duel that Blitz is going to win through the wall with a 5-7. Well, here's another opportunity for Grayhound, actually, to start building their economy up if they can take these 4 guns through.
Right. Try to keep as many guns as they possibly can. Molotov into maze and a smoke. Nice flash out from Dexter. Good utility usage out from Grayhound. Do lose one more gun, but that's going to be it. 3 alive.
That's better than it has been.
Yep. Only 1 or 2 for the most part for Grayhound in these last couple of rounds. They're starting to move up in those last alive numbers.
Moving up in the world. Just like the HLTV rankings after IEM Sydney.
Wait, last year or this year?
This year.
Yeah.
I don't know where they ended up getting to. Top 20, I think.
Pretty good. Were they higher after that Katowice performance?
No.
Really?
Apparently it was 17th, as according to Kappa Rost MC himself.
Oh. Wait, can MC talk back to us?
No. He lives vicariously through the producer who relays his...
I don't get these MC insights, unfortunately. Pretty sad about that, to be honest. Might bring that up later.
So this might be...
That's the second time Blitz has pushed into connector and shotgun AWP.
Yeah, sad round for Grayhound.
Oh, that was so close.
I think we both had the same reaction. Come on,
believe
Dexter.
There's
What
an
are you doing?
emote that
Oh, no.
it's usually
Right.
associated with that.
You know, there's so many orbs down there. I think he's just like, stuff it. I'll give up. Well, we've been talking a little bit about economic damage in the Grayhound perspective for the last couple of rounds. Now is actually a chance for Grayhound to throw one back. It is obviously a round for Chiefs here, but looking at their money, if Dexter finds another kill or two, it keeps things quite disastrous on that CT economy. And he has actually managed to slip past Dexter. Catch Tux off guard. Well, the timing here may not be too favourable for Tux. He's given away his position now as well, and Dexter will punish him for that. Bomb plant will not be allowed. In fact, Dexter has faked it. But he is going to be flanked by Dexter in the end. Still, gets one kill on the board for himself. Can't be too disappointed. It'll force 3 investment from Chiefs, keeps them honest. 7-3 though, and Chiefs find their first round in a while, courtesy of Blitz. Good stuff with York. He's been looking good on this map. 14-8, the shining light of hope for the CT side.
In-game leading and shooting real good. Not a easy task to balance.
Well, that's nicely done from Offnu. Doesn't look like a trade's going to be too easy for Grayhound, though they do get it inevitably. Blitz wasn't actually there to find the trade for Offnu. He was backing away, but Offnu was pushing on forward.
Walter only had a P250, but he gets the kill and picks up the AK afterwards.
Yep.
So no rifles lost, even though there was a player lost, and the 1-for-1 should probably be pretty good for Grayhound, especially considering that they are very good at playing the rotations on the map. Obviously, big issue is here Zusi has pushed all the way behind Grayhound, but this could be checked and could be an opportunity for a 1-for-1 for Grayhound.
Or a 1-for-none if the first player on the entry actually makes something happen.
Where's Tux at right now? Is he in ABC?
I would assume so.
Rotating back towards A, he's going to make his way back after this. Oh my god, nothing.
Well, a lot of damage, but no kill. That's the key factor. Smoke to go down on the site. Tux under pressure now as he throws all of his utility out, waiting for the rotation from Texter. Dick Stacey gets a little bit over-eager. The bomb plant does just get denied by Texter. That's nicely done. And the round is quite swiftly cleaned up after the fact.
Along with Greyhound's economy.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to take the save here. Here's a big opportunity for Chiefs to build up the cash, build up that CT round count. Make this game a little bit closer. They don't have a bad T side on this map. But I feel like Greyhound's CT side on this map is pretty difficult to deal with.
Would you say it's a pretty PogChamp?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think of a good Twitch emote, but I'm not that good with the Twitch emotes. Can you guys give me a hand?
What's the best emote to reflect Greyhound's CT side?
Forehead, maybe?
No. That would imply that it's like a joke.
This is how bad I am with Twitch emotes.
I would say it's PogChamp. Well, another buy coming through for Greyhound, but Chiefs have certainly been given an into the half if they can put a string of rounds together here and maybe make it 8-7. But Greyhound very quick into the B bomb site. They're not too keen on that idea. Now Tux is still alive, and I thought he was checked, but apparently that is not the case. Urcast at least will finish him off, but what does Urcast do from here? 2v1. And he's completely disengaging the fight. I swear to God, Tux was checked. But apparently not.
Not, and he spun around like a turret, shot everyone in sight. This isn't an unwinnable 1v2 for Urkas, though.
No, a lot of time. Well, Billy, looks like the PogChamps have it.
I don't know. Smork. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
If there was going to be an emote to describe how Ofnu plays in this iteration of cheats, it would probably be Smork.
me orc, me push, me kill.
Alright, Blitz, you've been having a good game. Make it easier on the Chiefs, and he does. Oh, don't knife next to him. It's really mean. Ragdoll was probably there on his screen.
I don't know how Tux gets 3 there.
That's a pog. That is definitely an octopus with tentacles attached from Tux.
Yep. Sure. If we're going to keep going with the Twitch chat emotes. Right now it's looking a bit Bible thump for Grayhound. God, I'm going to stop. I'm actually cringing at myself, to be honest.
Wow, now you know what it's like having to cast with you all the time.
Alright. Alright, I see how it is. Guess we know who we won't be seeing next to ESL Pro League. Well, Blitz under pressure here. Those Tech 9s running and gunning. Ofnu, however, unchecked. That'll be the end of Sicko, but already Grayhound are getting the kills, and Urcast very sneaky. He catches Ofnu. And this is a moment for Grayhound to really put the nail in the coffin of the Chiefs if they make this first half 9-6. When it was really looking like Chiefs would be able to come back to 8.
Bit of a freebie for Grayhound, really. Making it work with the pistols and armor. But Chiefs, oh, I was going to say they're not going to have any problems buying in this one, but looking at the cash, actually, going to be a bit of a lack of util on some of these players. Potentially no AWP for Blitz if he does drop one of his teammates. He's dropped Tuxafamus, and he's actually miscalculated that. He had 46.50. I think he slightly was like $100 off and thought he would have 47.50 for the AWP, which has actually been very instrumental in his hands, right?
Yeah, it certainly has.
But there you go. Quick maths was not quick enough from Blitz. Or maybe too quick.
Maybe it will be just as good with the AUG. It is still a scoped weapon. And there's one. No recontest from the next T player who had the bomb. Dexter doesn't want anything to do with this. He's going to get out of here quite quickly.
Grayhound going to reposition towards long. Only one player to really deal with that, and that's Texter. Still I was going to say still has the molly. Drops it early. Does actually spot the Urcast heading into that long A corner, and he's going to make the play. Push it in towards bathroom here. Cleans it out. No one knows no one's in there. That's a very key position for him to have. Other two players rotating up. That is Tux and Zuzi. They're going to drop the smoke as well as the flushes in towards long and just buy some time.
Yeah,
this is a good position for Texter.
This is not fun for Grayhound, although Dexter and Malta have opened up really nicely. I thought the Chiefs had got into the bomb site before all the utility had come down. They had the numbers there, but they couldn't win the aim duels. Grayhound get the bomb down. Blitz is close up. It'll net him a free kill onto Urcast, but what more past that? Smoke's going to go down. I don't think that actually properly covers the bomb. And he's going to challenge Blitz. It's 9-6 at the end of the half here, favouring Grayhound. It's looking good for them, the T side. But they'll move over onto CT and see if they can finish this one off with a 2-0 after the halftime break.
From the back roads to back streets,
See you foes trying to trap me, but I don't run like a track meet. Even though I'm #1 like an athlete. And the way I maneuver around you and through you, I'm coming and I'm bound to pursue you. I'm everything that you knew of, plus more. What's in store is I'm about to get to you. Sleepless nights, better think this twice before you step to me and come and speak with strife. There's a lesson when you reach my life. It'll be chin checking and I'll teach you right. Plenty tried, plenty failed. Too many times I've seen plenty bail. And there will be no surprise what I'm about to do when you are looking through my eyes. See many go, see many come. See that they won't bring it to me, son. Try me if you want, but won't be any fun. I'll take the challenge. I'll beat anyone. I'm the one. I'll be quite clear. Bow down to no one. I'm right here. I get it in. I don't fight fair. And guess what? I'm your worst nightmare. Cause I ain't taking no losses. And I don't even care what the cost is. Are you prepared for the forces I'm about to bring? Cause I'm the boss of all bosses. I penetrate your thoughts and fill them with doubt. You gon' feel where I'm coming and feel what I'm about. If they come in with the drama, I'm wheeling them out. Cause I ain't about to have somebody here stealing my clout. I keep my friends close, enemies closer. Cause that's the way it is and the way it's supposed to be. Anybody can see there's only room for one, and that one is me. Plenty tried, plenty failed. Too many times I've seen plenty bail. And there will be no surprise what I'm about to do when you are looking through my eyes. See many go, see many come. See that they won't bring it to me, son. Try me if you want, but won't be any fun. I'll take the challenge. I'll beat anyone. I'm the one. I'll be quite clear.
Listening to some of the soulful music in the break there, Pilly talking about your worst nightmare. Is it the worst nightmare for the Chiefs tonight? I mean, they had that opportunity. 4 map points in a row on Dust 2, couldn't close it out. Now they're down again, 9-6.
I mean, they say that the worst nightmare is the one that comes back time and time again. So
that would be
the
this.
case.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to go back in like the history of all these rosters and think about when the last time actually that Grayhound lost to Chiefs would have been, and I can't really, for my memory, think of it. Maybe last
It'll probably
season.
be one of those like national events.
Yeah, I think it was
Chiefs tend
A1
to
NZ
do pretty well
Championship
at.
Season 2 last year,
Yeah.
and they lost at the offline finals. And it was Chiefs and Order, from memory, that went through to the grand finals, Chiefs winning it. But that was like November last year.
And that was a completely different roster as well.
Yeah, definitely a different Chiefs roster. The only remaining members would be Texter and Tux.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, yeah, it's definitely been tough going tonight for Chiefs. Again, that first half, it leaves them a little bit to play with, but like I don't know if it's enough moving into this second half now.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, Grayhound can have even more dominant sort of T-side performances, but moving on to their CT, they should be pretty comfortable. This is their best map by far. I have seen some stuff on the T-side from Chiefs, though, and I'm hoping that they can still keep it nice and competitive, but I'd imagine that even if they're able to make some things work on the T-side, even if they're able to get the pistol that they've been pretty consistent at getting tonight, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to necessarily push them over the line.
And where do we go if they don't get the pistol, really? Like,
Yeah.
I think actually every single pistol has gone the way of Grayhound, of the way of Chiefs against Grayhound tonight. So, look, yeah, it just doesn't seem like they're getting enough rounds on the board outside of the pistols when you think about probably 9 of the rounds tonight, or 7 to 9 of the rounds tonight that Chiefs have been able to pick up have been off the back of the pistols. Sure, they got quite a lot on Dust 2, so maybe that's not necessarily as big of a factor, but here they got 6 rounds on the CT side, 2 free ones of the pistol. So I don't know if they're really quite getting to the numbers that they need to be, but we'll see if they're going to drop that streak, and if Grayhound, I mean, when it really matters now for Chiefs, if Grayhound actually can pick up the pistol. I think if Grayhound wins this pistol, the map's over.
Ooh, big calls.
Is it though?
I think it is.
Okay.
Bring con for Chiefs, one on either extremity, and look at this centralized pistol out of Grayhound. Everyone chilling in the middle.
Not a good start for Chiefs, and this is a very, very nice setup actually for Grayhound. Dexter going to be able to peek out, perfect timing. Looks like the dream is dead for Chiefs. The 4 from 4 in terms of pistol rounds for this series not going to be completed. One goes the way of Grayhound, and it might be the one that pushes them through to Occitane. Obviously, it's not going to be just that yet for Grayhound.
What does that say, John?
Time for, I don't know what Tapeten Veshel means.
Time for...
Du hast ihn dir verdient is like, you deserve it. I think it's like an ad for an apartment or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there'll be somebody in chat that speaks better German than I do.
Surprise. On a broadcast like this. A force out of Chiefs, by the way. BTW.
That's true. A lot of smoke grenades. So they have something in mind. What's the thought process here? Bit of a split for Chiefs right now. Just slowly looking to take some map control. They are being able to do that without costing themselves much utility at all.
Greyhound have heard the Deagle shots coming out, and they should be well aware that not many kills came away for Chiefs in that last round, which is probably indicative of the force. Advanced position for Dexter. He still does have full utility to his belt. Siko's got some to throw down. Dick Stacey doesn't have any, but he's got the big man Org. Chiefs here setting up the smokes. Dexter's still behind enemy lines. Could make a massive amount of impact. Execute comes out on the site.
Well, not much of an execute if you can't get past Dexter. The troll in the bathrooms. Gets 3 kills for the SMG. Does eventually fall, but that's a lot of cash over to him. And Zusi, he won't be able to offer too much resistance. 11 up for Greyhound. They navigate the force buy from the Chiefs pretty well.
Yeah, Dexter pretty much just picked them up and dunked their head in the toilet there. RIP. Chiefs now.
Looks like I got the translation correct.
Nice.
It's an ad for traveling, apparently.
That's what I thought it would be.
But everyone says that you've earned it. Yeah. So there you go.
You've earned your praise, Jordan.
Thank you.
Good job.
Anything else you want me to translate? Let me know. I'll do my best.
Got some more explicit text for later, but until then, just keep it nice and PG.
Alright. But if it's explicit in German and it's an English broadcast, doesn't really matter. Well, Dexter's going to give it another crack here, and he probably gets a few. Well, 2. No, actually, Dick Stacey stole 1 away from him, so just the 1 for Dexter this time. There you go. 12-6 for Greyhound.
Alright, Chiefs, this is the comeback on hard mode. Going up against a strong CT economy. Dexter's actually going to keep the Scout. AWP for Siko. Overpass going to stay with the MP9, which we know he can do totally fine with. Blitz going to buy himself the AWP. Lucy has been one of their power players in good Chiefs performances. Nofny's having a bit of a quiet one as well, although not too quiet. So we're going to need to see those two really step up heavily for the Chiefs to come back into this game. Can't just be Blitz doing the heavy lifting here.
Yep.
Because when we've seen Chiefs play well, it has been Zusi and Ofnu having good games. Nice angle out of Dexter. Looking for a bit of a pick onto the left side of bathroom. Get a bit of information.
Yeah, but Chiefs, for their own right, are giving up quite a bit of control over the B-bomb side of the map. In towards short water, Urquhart has pushed forward with his SMG. Malta's holding a pretty forward angle, just peeking down Monster. They're neither of them really seeing a whole lot, so starting to get the sense here for Greyhound that they might be feeling that this is a push toward bathrooms.
Bit of timing here for Chiefs if they catch Siko or Urquhart out, but Siko hasn't been caught out at all. Dumps the flash over short A as well.
Sees one more player there as well in Death Alley. It's Dexter on to Dexter. Haven't seen too much of that tonight. Haven't been the tongue twisters just yet, but Urquhart is in a very nice spot here, and Tux won't properly check it. Urcast slowly makes his way up, and luckily for him, Tux is the player that's very low. Easy kill for Urcast to be able to find himself an AK there as well, but the real action is going to be going on towards the bomb side, and Sicko uncharacteristically missing a shot, but then, well, makes amends for it with a nice one onto Zeusy. Multiple finish blitz off. 13's up for Grayhound. Looks like we may be seeing a quick end to the second map. Certainly quicker than Dust 2, that is for sure.
Good decision here for Chiefs. Whether to force or allow Grayhound into the 14th. I've seen them make the half-buy work pretty well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it. This time, not the same approach that we've seen before from them. I've seen them make the half-buy work last night, where they went for a bit of an execute towards the B-bomb site, and that worked fairly well for them. Would have liked to see them go for that approach this round. Especially because it feels like their individuals, apart from Blitz, aren't really stepping up to the occasion. So maybe that kind of an execute could work out a little better than trying to make the individuals pop off with the Deagles
Why
and
is the bomb
pistols.
there?
I guess we won't have to worry about that. I picked it up.
It would have been quite interesting if like Chiefs would have fanned out across the map and Grayhound just pushes Monster and sees the bomb. Like, what?
That LED blink is horrible. Why does it blink so fast?
Just so that you know that it's ready to go.
Oh. I don't like that at all. I really don't like that.
You're getting a little bit triggered.
FC knows how to trigger me now.
Hashtag trigger warning, LED bulb blinking very fast.
Let's see if he remembers that. Alright, well for now we will see that you'll hear the chirping birds, but it's only a matter of time until these more loud shots come out from either team. Probably more likely to be Grayhound.
Well, Texter's working his way. Hasn't been seen by Sicko just yet. All it takes is one good shot from the Deagle. Timing won't quite favour him though. And that is a clean anti-eco. 14-6. Grayhound, they are not messing around. And this might be exactly what you fear.
Man, look at their money. It's like that Extra Fire sponsorship has come in clutch. Need to get these boys some more sponsors.
Yep. Grayhound buses. That would work. You know, rolling up into the LAN. I could imagine that.
Chief's going to go fast towards this short B area. Already lost Dexter through the wall to Dexter.
Oh god. It's not looking good, is it? It's not looking fun. As soon as you start the round, you're playing essentially with 3. Nade's going to smack off Nu in the face there as well. Damn, that is a lot of damage. Just nothing going right for the Chiefs at the moment on the T side of Overpass. Seems like they really needed that map win on Dust 2 to push us through to Nuke if they were to have a chance here, because it's just not looking possible at all on Overpass. Urcast on the angle will catch Zeusy. It's actually Sicko that gets the kill. Doesn't matter in the end. 3 guns through from Grayhound. That's plenty enough. Urcast's up to almost 16k.
Unfortunately, it's looking like the same story from last time. One map, nice and close. Could have been there for the Chiefs. But once they lose that one, it feels like it's not quite able to get up from that, and Grayhound sort of rolls over them.
Yep. It's looking a little bit gebrochen for the Chiefs if we're going to continue going with the German analogies. Gosh, I mean, it's not even close. It is not even close. Sicko's shotgun AWP outside of the connector opening. And it is definitely Greyhounds to lose now. 15 is up. I mean, how quickly has this second half gone? Not a single round the way of Chiefs. Barely any of them have even been close.
CT's been pretty rock solid. Tuck's going to find Urcast, but still the man advantage for Grayhound. Be backing them to close this one out.
Yeah, Tux has had his moments here on Overpass, but just hasn't really been able to combine them in sync with Blitz when he was on the CT side. There was either one or the other, and neither being able to do enough really to put much on the board for Chiefs.
Player was spotted towards long A with the bomb. Going to make his way back towards B. That's actually caused a rotation out from Dick Stacey, who flushes out towards long A. Sicko checks that again. Still no one there.
Well, if Malta falls for free, then there's something to be said for this round. He's been spotted. It's going to buy time for the rotation. It does. Dick Stacey very, very quick down, and that really keeps Malta feeling a little bit more comfortable. He'll take another peek, spots out Zusi, and, well, falls back into the loving arms of Dick Stacey, which don't really exist much anymore. Malta decides to take the fight himself, puts Zusi low, and Sicko will finish it off. No worries at all there for Grayhound. It's 2-0 today. They've got themselves in prime position to go through to Occitana. They still have tomorrow to play against Order. That's some big games coming up, Pili, but for now I think we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about that match. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We'll be back after this with post-match analysis. It was a minor hiccup on Dust 2 for Grayhound, but they did get the job done there, and then no such problems on Overpass. A pretty straightforward 2-0 tonight, it feels like, for Grayhound, and the storyline continues. Grayhound sitting quite comfortably at the top of the ANZ region, pending a result tomorrow against Order, and Chiefs not quite being able to catch up to them, still having to play second fiddle.
Yeah, which is normally the case, as you highlighted, but Order is actually a team who's given Grayhound a little bit more trouble in the past, so maybe there is something to that. We will find out tomorrow, as that'll be the last game of the Pro League for this season, at least for our region, so it's a bit sad to see things come to an end a little bit, and it's a bit sad to see sort of, I guess, more of the same, but you also got to be happy for a team like Grayhound going from strength to strength and continuing their potential success into an event like Occitani, and proving that time and time again they're one step ahead of their domestic rivals, despite how many times these guys try to reshuffle their roster and try to find another way to overcome Grayhound. It just never quite seems like it's enough.
Yeah, look, I'm not averse to the fact that Grayhound is sort of quite dominant in the region. I also do think that it's a fairly healthy ecosystem actually right now in the ANZ region. Like, while I will say Grayhound is the best team in the region fairly comfortably, it's not like they aren't without their challenges. You know, again, we see a fairly close map there from Chiefs on map 1. Who knows what could have happened if we go through to Nuke, again, which is not a bad map for the Chiefs. We still have yet to see how they're going to go up against Order, so it's not like it's complete and utter domination. It's not like we know that it's going to be Grayhound every time. It's just the suspicion that continues to get reinforced. But I feel like, you know, it is it's not really a dynasty for Grayhound or anything like that, and it is going to fall eventually. It's not like anyone's too far behind them, so I think they kind of have to keep on their toes, and that's really good, I think.
I agree. I want to see Grayhound potentially make this, make it through the rest of the Pro League. You know, maybe Order can give them a little bit more of a run for their money tomorrow. But seeing Grayhound go through to Occitani, maybe they can reach the heights that they did back when Grat was on their lineup, and show us what they've got with this new improved lineup.
Yeah. Definitely still a bit of work to do in that respect, because obviously we know Grat was such an impact player for them. Sicko has come into the roster trying to fill those shoes, much like Sterling did, and it's definitely difficult shoes to fill. But let's not talk too much about that. Let's get into today's play of the day. As we have every single day, we've chosen one great play out of our matches today, and this time it's going to be going the way of Tux, setting himself like a turret on that B-bomb site, more or less winning the round for the Chiefs here.
Pretty impressive. I mean, he wasn't checked by Grayhound, but it just shows his awareness that he's able to recalibrate so quickly, and he seems so aware of, hey, he already knows there is that player behind him, but first he's going to pick a player who could potentially be more of a threat in terms of being able to trade him, and then he recalibrates towards Monster, and he even finds that third frag.
Yep.
Pretty impressive to show that level of awareness in terms of picking your potential targets in such a chaotic situation and giving yourself maximum percentage of multi-fragging, basically.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, it was a very, very small silver lining for Chiefs. Really, one of the few rounds on Overpass that they had any success in. It kind of felt like that same storyline that you sort of posed to me at the start of Overpass. Once we lose a close map there for the Chiefs, once we get onto that second map, they just aren't quite able to get through. Maybe the mental fortitude isn't there for them. I'm not sure what the issue is, but we've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough situation. Maybe in the future, if either they're able to A, overcome that sort of mental barrier, or B, maybe they can get a little bit better of a start in a series like this, then maybe it could be a bit of a different story. It seems like it's only really a problem against Grayhound, where Order yesterday, even in a close series where it was back and forth, even after Order took a map off of them, they were still able to make it happen. So speaking of Order, tomorrow they'll have a game against Grayhound that we'll look forward to watching.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we look at the standings as well, that is going to show us how important that match is going to be. Order, well, they did lose to Chiefs, but they got a map. So if they can somehow beat Grayhound 2-0 here, I think we're then into a three-way tie. You can see the points on the board there, again, favouring Grayhound, I should say, given that they have that match in hand over the Chiefs. Now, Chiefs are done. They don't have any more games. That's as good as it's going to get for them. 2 map wins on the board for Grayhound today, so
no map losses, whereas Chiefs have that map loss against Order as well as the 2 against Grayhound.
But if Order 2-0s tomorrow, they are 3-2, whereas Chiefs are 2-3, and Grayhound would be 2-2 at that case. So it's all a bit of a funny situation. We'll figure it out overnight. I don't want to make any clear, concise comments. What I will say is if Grayhound win, they will go through to Occitani. If Order win, I think it depends on the fashion in which they win as to who is going to go through. But there is still a chance, and that is great. I actually enjoy the fact that tomorrow, instead of like right at the end of the season, we're getting a kind of a dead rubber. We are actually getting a match that is going to have a big impact on who could actually be going to the global finals.
Yeah, exciting stuff, and it's even more exciting when you look at the history between these two teams in the past. It's not like Order hasn't actually ever won against Grayhound. Occasionally, more rare than is common, they do actually come across the line and take actually a series off of Grayhound. So when it's in a big pressure scenario like this, where an international spot is on the line, I'm not sure if they're going to have that extra push, whereas the only other times that they've really overcome Grayhound in the past is more sort of at the national events or the online sort of leagues, rather than an actual qualifier spot for an online for a tier 1 sort of tournament, whereas in those sort of scenarios Grayhound tends to be the better team over all the other domestic competition.
I do actually think that it was Order last season that went to the season finals for ESL Pro League.
Was that old Order though, or this Order?
That would have been this Order, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It would have been after Liaz had departed for Renegades at the very minimum. Anyway, that is definitely a discussion that we have to have tomorrow. Unfortunately for us, that is the end of tonight's broadcast. But we do hope you'll join us tomorrow. We're going to be starting at 6 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's the normal time, not the late time that we started today. Only the one match for us, though, tomorrow. That is going to be Grayhound and Order playing off for a spot in Occitane. Hope to see you there. Have a good night.